Moscow, Surya! Moscow, Surya! Moscow, Surya!
As American and Russian naval ships seem to be readying for a potential U.S. airstrike on Syrian forces, there have been calls for a diplomatic solution. President Donald Trump said the U.S. would send missiles targeting Syria following an alleged chemical weapons attack on civilians that left dozens dead. An American aircraft carrier strike group is headed to the region now on a previously scheduled trip. Russia, a staunch supporter of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, has called reports of the chemical attack a hoax. Russian soldiers are headed to Duma, the town where the attack reportedly occurred, to preserve evidence and protect the people still living there. Russian naval ships are also reportedly scheduled to participate in live firing drills off the Syrian coast. One Russian official has warned its military would shoot down any American missiles headed for Syria and even return fire at the missile's source. Turkey, a U.S. NATO ally that maintains close ties to Moscow, has criticized both sides. Turkey's prime minister compared the U.S. and Russia to street bullies, each saying its own weapons are bigger than the others. He urged unity and a focus on still active terror groups in the region. Chemical weapons investigators are headed to Duma to determine if banned weapons were in fact used. The group will not assign blame for the attack if it's proven to have happened.
For the Americans and the French and the British and of course the Israelis, Israel's already thrown one punch and they're ready to throw more. And in their words, if we don't stop this evil now, this cancer will grow, basically. He invokes World War II, and he says he's ready if he has to for World War III. And the word on the street is it may happen tonight, may even happen while we're on the broadcast here this evening. Certainly, I'm wondering, it's already Thursday morning, about 4:15 a.m. in Syria. I'm just wondering, is Trump going to wait till Friday the 13th?
Friday the 13th. There goes the numerologies again. Friday the 13th. Right? 13, 31, 33.
Wondering, is Trump going to wait till Friday the 13th at 3 a.m. in the morning? Is that
Friday the 13th at 3 a.m. There goes that number 3 again, man. Friday the 13th at 3 a.m. It's all numerologies with these devils, man. We're not ignorant Satan's devices, man.
that what he's waiting for? I don't know. And so we're continuing to watch closely with
like
what's
9/11.
going on. But the war drums are beating, and the seriousness of the situation, the prophetic revelation of this whole thing is certainly before us. We are living in a time like we've never seen before. The moment is now, and the people of God need to truly be praying, pleading the blood of Christ and recognizing the seriousness of the situation. And the global elitists are trying to stop and derail the democracy and the Republic of the United States. Mueller, look what the Republicans do. Look at these cowards. Look at these traitors. Look at the treason going on. Can you believe this? These guys are dropping
off. It's the Most High's plan. He goes off. You know what I mean? He could be an Israelite. Who knows, man? You know what I mean? Or a heathen. Or Israelite. But the matter is, you know, the point is he goes off. But the Most High's plan is to destroy America. That's the Most High plan, to destroy off the face of the earth, man. You know, that's the times we're living in, man. We're living at that time. So the Most High is building all this up for this destruction, man. Isaiah 13. 13 and I'm going to go at 9. Behold, the day of the Lord Yahweh cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof it. Most High going to destroy this place with his nuclear missiles. For the stars of heaven and the constellation thereof shall not give their light. Their sun shall be darkened and is going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So the Most High, you know, let me go at the top. The Most High is bringing this destruction. He's bringing this nuclear war. Starting at the top, 13. It was just talking about Friday the 13th at 3 a.m. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of
The last time the U.S. launched cruise missiles into Syria, it made sure to warn Russia the strike was coming. President Trump's ominous Wednesday tweets aren't quite the same thing, but they do make one thing clear. The U.S. really wants to avoid striking Russian forces in Syria. If the reported mail-in ballots from Russia's recent election are any indication, there are well over 2,000 Russian forces currently stationed in Syria to support the regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Russia said Wednesday it would deploy troops near the rebel-held town of Douma, where the regime allegedly carried out a suspected chemical weapons attack that left dozens dead. If any of those Russian forces are hit in a U.S. strike, Russia may feel compelled to retaliate. And since Russian soldiers are working closely with Assad's troops, it's tough to target Syria without putting Russians in the crosshairs as well. Russia's ambassador to Lebanon has warned that Russia would attempt to shoot down a U.S. missile strike and target the missile launch sites in response. But Russia might not be so quick to retaliate. The country probably doesn't want to get into a shooting war with the U.S. either. U.S. and Russian forces most recently clashed in February when U.S. strikes killed dozens of Russian citizens, helping Syria's government attack a rebel base. Russia downplayed the incident at the time, saying the dead Russians were private mercenaries not affiliated with the government.
The Russian military forces in Syria are nominally protected by an S-400 air defense system as well as S-300 based on Russian naval vessels in the Eastern Mediterranean and a variety of lower-level point defense and medium-range systems. So what that essentially means is that the Russians have the capacity to shoot down at least some of the missiles launched in any US cruise missile attack. It's notable that last year, when the US hit Cherat Air Base with 59 Tomahawks, Russian defenses did not fire. There are several possible reasons for this, which have a bearing on today. First of all, typical practice would be for the Russians to fire two interceptors at every incoming cruise missile, which could very quickly deplete the number of very expensive, very large surface-to-air missiles that they have in Syria. It's also perfectly possible for the US to swamp Russian defenses. So if Russia makes the call to start firing at incoming US missiles, they may well run out of missiles before the US does, which would then potentially leave them exposed. Russia is not capable of matching the US in conventional military terms on anything other than very localized sort of geographical and temporal areas where they choose to have a confrontation. The US massively more powerful in conventional terms. Russia, of course, still maintains a nuclear arsenal directly comparable to that of the US, indeed in some ways actually superior. But certainly in Syria, while Russia has deployed quite a substantial air power component as well as land forces and naval forces, were there to be some sort of conventional flashpoint, the US and its allies would probably quite quickly gain the military ascendancy. Of course, the worry is not whether Russian systems could be overcome or suppressed in Syria, but what the escalation would lead to elsewhere. It's very unlikely that the Russians will stand by and let a concerted campaign against the Assad regime go forward, and therefore if President Trump were determined to try and do so, yeah, there's a huge possibility for escalation.
The latest chemical strike in Syria has ratcheted tensions between the US and the Russian-backed Assad regime, with Donald Trump warning that Vladimir Putin will pay a big price. Could it lead to World War III, and could the UK be dragged into it? Relations between the two former Cold War foes are poor, but we've been in similar territory before. The US and Russia have formally looked to avoid a direct confrontation in Syria at all costs. But the political landscape has changed considerably in the last year. Russia's sanctions have been expanded and its diplomats expelled from the UK over the poisoning of a former Russian spy, and now Israel has seemingly stirred the pot with a deadly airstrike on T4 or Tyros base in Homs. Theresa May has now signalled that Britain will consider military action to hold the regime and its backers to account.
This is a brutal regime that is attacking its own people. We are very clear that it must be held to account.
Any action would require a parliamentary vote, but a vote wasn't passed the last time this happened in 2013. A US Tomahawk missile strike on a government airbase after 2017's deadly chemical attack was a sharp tap on the wrist that destroyed a few jets, but no meaningful response followed. The US and its Western allies' general action over Syria has only emboldened Assad, who has for years been acting with impunity as the international community sat on its hands.
Алексей, продуктовый набор судного дня включает много позиций, но основной принцип комплектования НЗ
Telling their people to get ready for nuclear war.
Больше воды. Кстати, далеко не все продукты действительно...
This is spiritual, man. You know? The spirit party, how about Shem Yahushua, is World War III's in the air. Here it is, Russia. Russia's state TV instructing Russian citizens to prep for the Armageddon, man. So here it is, they're bringing it on television, man. This is Russian state TV, but they're not bringing shit out in America. They're not telling American people to get ready for a nuclear war. Leave your ass asleep until that wall of fire comes, man.
Стоит брать с собой. Например, из круп дольше всех хранится рис, в среднем до 8 лет. От 3 до 7 лет хранится овсянка, а вот срок годности гречки не более года. Довольно долго можно продержаться, разумеется, на мясных консервах. Они в среднем хранятся до 5 лет. Рыбные меньше, не более 2 лет. Ну и, конечно, сложно обойтись без молока, хотя бы в сухом виде, а также сахара и соли. Российская традиция велит при любых потрясениях и катаклизмах запасаться макаронами, но этот продукт профессиональные выживальщики не советуют брать с собой в бункер. Хранить макароны можно только в герметичной упаковке, в открытом виде они быстро отсыревают и портятся. Кому особенно не сладко придется в подземном мире, так это сладкоежкам. Шоколадки, конфеты, сгущенное молоко – все это тоже придется оставить в прежней жизни. Да, глюкоза непревзойденный источник энергии, однако сладкое вызывает жажду, а ведь вода будет самым ценным ресурсом для обитателей бомбоубежища. Послушаем специалиста.
И воды чем больше, тем лучше. Потому что без еды можно продержаться и 2
Load up on water. You can go 2-3 weeks, 2-3 days without 2-3 weeks without food, but only 2-3 days without water.
А вот без воды после 3 дней становится уже достаточно тяжко.
The famine hits America, a lot of you gonna die, man. If you don't have the spirit of the Lord on you, you're gonna die, man.
Но без пищи человек способен продержаться до 2-3 недель. Отсутствие воды убивает значительно быстрее. Вот нормы водопотребления для населения из методических рекомендаций МЧС на случай чрезвычайных ситуаций. На питье взрослому мужчине необходимо не менее 2,5 литров воды в день. Детям и кормящим матерям нужно вдвое больше. По 3,5 литра в день на человека закладывается на приготовление еды, а 21 литр на санитарно-гигиенические процедуры и уборку помещений. Потребление воды во многом зависит от микроклимата помещения, в котором находится человек. Если слабо работает вентиляция и в убежище воздух начинает раскаляться, это быстро отражается на запасах воды.
If the ventilation, they're breaking it down, man. If something was to happen, if the ventilation system is weak and the air in the bomb shelter gets hot, look at, they're breaking it down, man. Because these other countries, they care about their people, man. This country, no, it's not a country, it's a corporation. These Edomites, these Rothschilds, they don't give a damn about you. Israelites and you heathen nations. They don't care about none of you.
At EU headquarters in Brussels, senior officials and diplomats are monitoring international relations very closely, according to a spokesperson. The European Commission says it is strongly convinced President Bashar al-Assad's forces were behind Saturday's alleged chemical attack in the town of Douma, close to Syria's capital, Damascus. Donald Trump has tweeted, "Russia vows to shoot down any and all missiles fired at Syria. Get ready, Russia, because they will be coming, nice and new and smart. You shouldn't be partners with a gas-killing animal who kills his people and enjoys it." One EU lawmaker is predicting things will get completely out of control between Washington and Moscow.
Western parts they make a lot of aggressions against Russia, and I think we are going straight on the way to a war.
Really?
Really.
A war? Like a military war?
A military war.
President al-Assad denies his forces were behind the alleged chemical attack, and senior Russian figures are warning any US strike in response to the alleged attack will be met with force. Relations between the West and Russia have been spiralling since Britain accused the Federation of poisoning former Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia in Salisbury, England last month. Analysts question what possible motivation Russia might have for carrying out such an attack.
We should wait about the Skripal case, the results of the investigation, and after we should take the measures against or supporting Russia. So let's wait about the results of the investigation. All of these policies against Russia are totally wrong.
Western countries and their allies in the Middle East were desperate to get rid of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, but because the legitimate president was supported by Russia and Iran, they have failed. Political commentators are suggesting this failure is what's really behind the West's current highly negative stance towards the governments in Moscow, Damascus and Tehran. Jerome Hughes, Press TV, Brussels.
Praise Yahweh Shem Yahushai. The wants the men to get life for this truth, that then Yahushai should rise first. And the wants the elders that told me the truth and honestly bust out there teaching to the house of David, the 144,000 of the elect. And the 1/3 men, women, and children is part of the elect. To the Israelite foreigners that are scattered in the four corners of the earth, confusion of faces, speaking the different tongues, meaning the different languages. So where Israel was scattered, because Israelites are going to look like other nations, all right? Going to the prophecies, Deuteronomy 28, James 1:1, Amos 9th chapter. Israel was scattered in the four corners of the earth, man. You point at a map, Israel was scattered there, all right? It's not no Black Panther shit, which was set up by the CIA. Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale was on J. Edgar Hoover's payroll. Just go to find out J. Edgar Hoover's a damn homosexual himself. But anyway, I had a dream last night, man. Going into this dream that I had, man, Most High gave a dream and a vision to the point where I almost, I overslept. I was supposed to wake up at a certain time. I was such in the deep sleep, because when I go to sleep at night, what I'll do is, at times, which I'm going to be doing more, is that I put like piano music, harp music at night. I light up incense. You got to pray to the Lord, get in the spirit. Because when you sleep, you're very vulnerable, your spirit. You're like in the middle of this world. Your body, it's like your body's in sleep mode. It's like your laptops, and your eyes. You're basically, when you close your eyes, you're very vulnerable, man, at that state, man. That's why a lot of, they call it, where between life and dream is very thin, It's very thin. The veil is very thin between this life and the spirit world. And that's when a lot of these witches, they do a lot of things around, a lot of spells around 3, 4, 5 o'clock, man. Dream walkers. Well, anyway, I had this dream, man, that I got thrown in prison, basically thrown in jail. You know what I mean? It was, I remember that. I remember that. And there was another Jake that was in there too. But that's the times we're living in, man. We're living at that time, brother. The other day said that he had a dream that cops came and put us on the floor and locked us up. And this is all because we're teaching the word of the Lord. That's all we're doing, is reading the Bible, reading the scriptures. What's the big deal? We're not telling nobody to pick up guns and pick up arms, and hell no. We ain't telling nobody to pick up guns, pick up arms, or uprise physically. Talk about Micah 2:10, arising to part. For this not your rest. Talk about spiritually, man. Spiritually. or rise spiritually out of this damn place, man.
Venimos, caminamos a pie de Canaima para llegar aquí en Guavita. 2 semanas con hambre, con sed, todo esto. Los niños llorando, mis hijos llorando del hambre. Mamá, quiero agua, quiero comer, mucho fome tengo yo. Y yo tenía grave, esta vez yo tenía grave. Tenía 6 meses grave. Yo vine de Venezuela porque Venezuela se puso arrecho, se puso difícil, no consigue nada, comida, alimento para nuestros hijos, para la familia. Y yo vendía allá en Venezuela también, así como así. Mi cultura así ya setana. A mí me gusta trabajar, a mí no me gusta pedir por ahí. Eso a mí me da pena.
A maior parte que a gente recebe aqui são do Delta Orinoco, que eles tinham um apoio do governo anterior, do governo de Chávez. Ele dava sementes e apoiava no que o principal fonte de ingresso deles é a agricultura. Então eles tinham, digamos, esse apoio lá. Quando saiu do governo, entrou o governo atual, eles foi tirado todo tipo de subsídios, inclusive da representação do governo que eles tinham. Então começou a secar a terra, a ver que eles estavam passando fome mesmo. Eles dizem que escolhiam uma hora do dia para comer, então, normalmente 6 horas da tarde. Começaram a adoecer as crianças, até morrer mesmo, não? Então quando houve toda essa epidemia também, porque acabaram os medicamentos também. Então, assim, como por exemplo o sarampo, não? O surto de sarampo. Aí eles começaram a ver que começaram a fazer esse êxodo, não? Pela Venezuela e...
Varados del Delta, casi llegando a frontera a Guyana, 1 hora a Guyana. Salí de ahí de Venezuela, buscando trabajo, llegué a Delta, de donde mi comunidad. Salí, llegué a Delta, buscando trabajo y no conseguí trabajo y me vine la cola llegué aquí en Pacaraí. Sí, porque se acabó el trabajo en Venezuela, acabó todo. Ahorita peor, porque todo Guarao viene para acá, para Pacaraí, ¿no? Porque buscando comida y buscando trabajo, buscando medicina. En Venezuela no consigue ni siquiera ni una gotita de medicina, pero aquí al menos consigue de todo. Consigue de todo aquí. Aquí está, aquí en este abrigo están los médicos. En Venezuela, donde estamos nosotros, ni consiguen ni los médicos. Si va para el hospital con un niño enfermo, allá se muere, porque no hay medicamento.
for more on this, we turn to Michael Maloof, former Pentagon official. Mike, nice to have you on. Are we at a point where we're going to find out who can do what in a direct confrontation? I mean, there's been an advertised strike by the President of the United States. There's been a definitive return by the Russians saying that, okay, we're going to shoot these missiles down. Where are we?
Well, I think that Putin's back is against the wall at this point. I think that, but I think what's happening earlier, as you spoke with Jim Jatras, I think there is some behind-the-scenes discussions that are going on. Trump's approach is that bombast approach, and then find leverage at some point. I think that's what we're seeing now. He's done it in trade. He's done it with the North Koreans. I think that this is the case, but this is much more serious than dealing with a businessman, if you will, over a real estate project. This is much more serious because of the consequences. But I think the effort is by the West, and including the United States, Britain, and France, to basically contain or put Putin in a box strategically and isolate him. And I think that this is the strategy. Militarily, yeah, it could easily escalate. As I pointed out earlier, it's something that if we kill Russians, the Russian generals, MOD has already stated that we could, that they will respond and hit platforms if necessary. And I'm hearing that both China, Russia and Iran would be united in case there's a conflict. And that is a scary premise that we're hearing from right now.
So where does that leave the West? How could the how could the United States do this without the Brits and the French involved? Will they be involved? For sure.
Well, there's talk now of trying to get a coalition going. Are they going to be successful? Maybe, maybe not. Now, you're not going to see them or even the Israelis or the Saudis wanting to do anything unless the United States takes the lead. But it definitely would be a U.S. conflict, even if the UK, French were involved in this.
What do you make of the fact that the mainstream media in America is focusing on other things, and there's no opposition voices or voices of question on Capitol Hill throughout all of this?
Well, I think because of the focus, and I think that's why you may have a case of the tail wagging the dog by Trump to deflect attention from his domestic problems and his isolation domestically in order to get support and attention focused elsewhere in the Middle East. And that is a problem that we've really got to watch.
Can the Russians intercept at an effective rate?
They can intercept. Yes, they have that capability. They have a jamming capability. They won't, as I said earlier, if they do a swarm, and also if you have B-2s, it's going to be very difficult because they're stealth. And that will be, but it depends upon what that response will be, if any. And that's what we've got to watch for. And again, Trump may be keeping people guessing so that he can control the situation himself. And I think that's where this is heading.
Michael Maloof, always good to have you with us tonight. Thanks. Speaker of the House Paul Ryan announced today that he will not seek re-election in this year's midterm elections. Ryan said that he's looking forward to spending more time with his family and is proud of his two greatest achievements, tax reform and supporting the military.
Today, I am announcing that this year will be my last one as a member of the House. To be clear, I am not resigning. I intend to full my served term as I was elected to do. But I will be retiring in January, leaving this majority in good hands with what I believe is a very bright future. Probably the two biggest achievements for me are, first, the major reform of our tax code for the first time in 36 years, which has already been a huge success for this country, and that's something I've been working on in my entire adult life. Second, something I got much more invested on since becoming Speaker, is to rebuild our nation's military. And after tax reform addressing our military readiness crisis, that was a top priority that we got done last month as well.
For more on this, we go to our political panel this evening. Civil rights attorney Robert Patillo is with us, and also New York radio talk show host Mark Simone. He's going to be leaving in January and will be running for president in the months to come. Mark Simone, is this a calculated move by Paul Ryan?
Well, yeah, he's calculating that he knows he can't get reelected. Republicans can't stand him. I'm talking about the voters, and they want him gone. He's one of the worst snakes in the swamp. We're happy to see him go. I'm sure he'll spend more time with his family if they happen to live on K Street, because I have a feeling that's where he'll be. The bad news is he's going to serve out the term. Wish he would leave now. But I mean, the tax plan, I think you can give Larry Kudlow a little more credit than Paul Ryan, although he did push it through, but only because he had blocked the Obamacare reform.
Yeah. Robert, is this because he doesn't want to lose the House on his watch?
This is no longer rats fleeing a sinking ship, Ed. This is the captain saying abandon ship. This is the establishment Republicans saying that they know they can no longer hold on to the party because they've given it over to the Tea Partiers and the extremists on the far right side of the aisle. What we're going to see in November, it's either going to be a Trump wave or a Democratic wave. But as far as establishment Republicans go, there's no causeway to victory for them. They understand they no longer control the party.
Freedom Caucus wants a say in all of this, Mark. Where's it going to go?
Well, as far as the election, it's way too early to predict anything. Donald Trump, the one thing he does do is disrupt the business model of guys like Paul Ryan. All they're about is donor service, lobbyists, doing what the insurance companies want. And he knows he can't get reelected. It's better to quit while you're ahead.
And there's some talk here in Washington that his frustration with the president played into this. Mark, what do you make of that?
Yeah, absolutely. He may have won a couple rounds there, and he maybe gets along with the president now, but as the president gets more comfortable and gets stronger, he knows he will totally disrupt the business model of Paul Ryan. So,
Robert, is he out of politics? Is he out of politics, or is he going to run for president? I mean, he says he's already talking about his tax reform and building the military. Sounds like a campaign speech.
What he did was set a timed explosion in the budget. He passed tax reform, which is $1.3 trillion, and then passed a $1.3 trillion budget. So we're going to be $2 trillion in debt. When this all explodes in the next House, he can run for president in 2020 as a fiscal conservative, saying he's going to help to fix the mess that he destroyed. Of course he's going to run again. He's only 48 years old. He's never had a job as an adult other than being in Congress. He's been in Congress since he was 28 years old. So of course he's going to run. Of course he has a political future. I think he's setting the president up for failure so he can come in and clean up the scraps as the establishment pick in 2020.
Final comment, Mark. With the future of the Republican Party, I mean, is it in the hands of the president?
I don't know. I wish you'd clean up the party, but I think a lot of people are right. This swamp was built over 50 years. It's got a lot of infrastructure. It could take decades to drain it. The Republican Party, the Democratic Party, both part of this swamp.
Well, they better get somebody to bring money into the swamp, because Speaker Ryan was one of the best guys at doing that. Gentlemen, thanks so much. Mark Simone and Robert Patillo.
I
Officer Temple.
Arrest me out
You're
here,
on
man.
camera too, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay, it don't matter. Record all day. Harassing me out here because I walked through an alley.
You walk through a yard.
Come on, man, cut it out.
Someone's backyard. Verna! Come out here a second. You don't mind?
What is it now?
Well, do you know this gentleman?
Yeah, I know him.
Okay, well, how do you know him?
Because he come here.
He comes here?
See my son, yeah.
Okay, was he here today to see you?
He was a few minutes ago.
And I was just leaving.
I wouldn't let him in.
You wouldn't let him in? Why not?
Because I didn't want no boat in here.
People, yeah,
You didn't want him in
exactly.
there. Did you want him in your backyard?
I walked straight through there, bro. Like,
He
you
was walking
tripped
around the
out.
backyard.
No, I wouldn't. I was walking straight through there, mama, like I usually do.
The back gate, I guess. I don't know.
He was walking around because when I pulled through the back alley, he
You
was in the
lying.
back door.
You lying.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking straight through there, mama.
They're picking vegetables?
I was.
You weren't outside when he was back there?
No.
No?
I wasn't picking no veggies out of the garden. In my kitchen.
Oh, okay, you're cutting vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Tabby still here right now?
No, he gone somewhere. I don't know what happened.
This ain't got nothing to do with him, though.
I'm talking to her.
That's crazy. I'm recording them.
She's being unjustly harassed.
Yep, because I showed them.
Mm-hmm. Walking through people's
And I
yards.
told you I was just walking through there because he wasn't here.
Mm-hmm. He said he's here to see Jennifer Castillo.
No, you a damn
Crystal.
lie.
He said what?
Crystal, he's here
I
to see
don't
Crystal.
even. What is you saying?
Yeah, you know
Man, you
Crystal?
making up names, bro?
Crystal's the one you said.
You
Jennifer
making
actually lives
you making up names like
No, Crystal.
This nigga making up names and shit.
Crystal ain't
Y'all see this shit? This nigga making up names on the front porch. Yeah, man, we should have went live on this one.
All right, Brandon, I appreciate your time, okay?
Okay.
All right. Sir, you're free to go.
Yeah, I know it. I know it. I don't have warrants. Free to go. That's me. Yeah. Look at this whole clown ass shit, man. Come on, man.
For now.
Yeah, for now, always free.
Yeah. Choose your route wisely.
You say what now?
Choose your route wisely.
Do what now wisely?
You heard me. I get out of that roadway because that's going to be...
Do what wisely?
Yeah.
Ah, really, man? Damn, you ain't got to threaten me.
Yeah.
I ain't did nothing wrong to you. Fuck, boys. Man, these old bitch-ass police, man. You see that shit? God damn. Fucking with a nigga, man. I need a motherfucking cigarette on these bitches.
Now you're under arrest.
For what?
Walking in the roadway that's not provided.
Are you serious, bro? Bro, I just walked across the street. Are you serious? I ain't gonna struggle with you.
I'm not having any trouble. Put you over clean on your back.
I walked across the street, and then you want to try to arrest me? Okay. I ain't going nowhere. Man, that shit crazy. Oh, what's that? 24 hours? Man, I'm good. So what you, man, inside? That's crazy. That's crazy like me. I can't have my phone?
Not in the back. No.
Yeah. I don't know what you digging in my pockets for. I ain't shit in there for you.
Well, I'm just putting it all in here so it goes with you.
Yeah.
Hang on.
You happy? You happy because you taking me to jail, man? Bro, this nigga here stupid, boy. I swear to God. Really, bro. You seen these people, I ain't have nothing on my record, bro. And you wanna try to take me to jail for what? Cause I walked across the street.
Good. All of us, men will stand up for y'all about to be outside. Our Lord gave you the opportunity to be a man. We want to keep you in the Lord. That's why the Lord is going to put you to death, man. Right, brother.
And the Most High is angry with the wicked every day.
Yeah, he's angry with the so-called white man every day, man. Because the so-called white man is doing something even more wicked and demonic every day, man. He's a demonic deity, man. Which deity goes back to the word God, man. Okay, because he is the God of this world. Matter of fact, give me 2 Corinthians 4 chapter. That's why you people are buzzed out, man, because the God of this world has life. You ain't stable in the faith. Esau will come with some stupid words, tell you to do anything. You can say whatever you want, man. It doesn't matter. You're not here. Why, man, eat whatever you want, man. Why would God put it? Why would nature have it here if it wasn't for you to eat?
Yeah, why it tastes so good?
Why it tastes so good? That is the devil's so-called white man. That's right. All right, the Edomite. Okay? And our people, they eat it up. Yeah, man. Hey, man, you angry for you want to get it? What you got, man? Why? Because the so-called white man isn't going to take you to jail for that. Yeah. The Heavenly Father will take you to hell for that. That's a new one, man.
Yeah. 2 Corinthians 4:3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost.
Yeah, that's right. If you can't get this truth, it's because you're lost, man.
I began to be a slave.
See, she's lost, man. Yeah, she's lost. But you know, that's the thing. That's the so-called black woman. We don't expect nothing else. It's her and Esau. Depending on the day, man. They the top enemy. That's the pit bull, man. That's the pit bull. Look at her, she want to bark. She got that whole spirit on her, man. She just bark. What you want me to do? What you want me to do? See that bark? What you want me to do? What you want me to do, Coach?
If you like stand still, the dog don't fuck. You can sit there and bark and then he'll leave. Yeah. You know? Because if you stand your ground, that's in the scripture, man. Resist the devil, you shall flee from him. That bitch is the devil. Just came out of nowhere talking shit. Yeah. You know?
I'm a slave. Well, you know what? Just die here tonight. Yeah. Nobody wants you on the TV. You got the place. Right? Your old raggedy ass. Oh, look at her. Well, that's the spirit. Look at her. The black woman. But the black woman, she's bugged out, man. She's all distraught. Fuck. She want Issa. She want this guy, man. This is what the black woman wants. She wants this guy.
Oh, look.
Look at it. She's crying. She mad at her. Look, the so-called white woman, she's comfortable, man. She's comfortable. This is what she was put on the earth to do, man. She understands that. She understands her destiny, man. She likes it. She got that stone cold freak look, man. Good. All right? All right, go.
In whom the Most High of this world.
Power of God in this world.
In whom the power of this world.
Right, the power of this world. How does the power of this world maintain its power? By deceit, trickery, witchcraft. Okay, sacrificing children. Okay, being a pedophile, homosexual. That's why Esau does that, because he gets power from that, man. He gets the satanic energy works with him more, man. That's why he's pushing that vibration more and more, because he sees that his power is waning because it's true. So he's like, man, I gotta be more and more wicked for Satan to deal with this, man. Okay, go ahead.
That blinded the minds of them which believe not.
It blinded the minds of them which believe not, man. Yes, because if you don't believe in this truth, guess what, man? You're open for any and everything, man. man. That nigga had a reggae album, now he got a gospel album. He's a perfect example. Toss Super Pro. Yeah, go ahead, give me that, brother. Sean, that's how our people are. That's why you got different trends, man. Hey, remember the jeans I was in that Izzy used to wear? That was all. Everybody had some clothes and then out of nowhere just went outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
04, 05.
Yeah.
Bitch was hot.
Oh yeah, it was hot, man. It was hot. Then what happened, man? People were walking down there, somebody was shooting.
Yeah, throwback jerseys. Specifically.
But that just goes to show, man. That's how our people are, man. They're all about trends, man. It's trends. That's why you got a lot of people watching videos now. That's the trending topic.
Short-term gratification.
Yeah, just like Esau. That's what Esau's into. That's what society is. It's a contract society, man. That's the spirit of Esau. That's why he's so right. Because he needed it right now. I need it right now. There's no patience, humility in this society. Okay, you found it?
It's Ephesians 4:14 that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine.
Yeah, that's right. Because the child is very impressionable. When you're a child, you don't know a lot. I can't even turn like this. But now I like this, now I like this, now I like that. You go through, what you're doing, you're pretty much discovering yourself. You're discovering and finding out who you are, man. You're forming an identity pretty much. You come across the truth, you're supposed to already know what it is. Yeah. Okay? All right, I'm an Israelite, that's it. All right, you have an open mind until you get the truth. You need to become very close-minded, man. Otherwise, a lot of spiritual here, man. It's so about black women. She's totally bugged out. Through, man. That was a conscious sister too. A Berkeley, so-called shea butter wearing like. All right. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah. It says that we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine.
Yeah, with every wind of doctrine. Oh yeah, somebody quoted the doctrine. Oh yeah, I think that might be it. You gotta be stable.
It says by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to the sea.
Right, whereby they lie in wait to the sea, man. Cunning craftiness. It said the sleight of men. That goes back to the magic, man. Yeah. Okay, like the car dealer, they call it the sleight of hand. And that's what they do, man. That's what these doing, man. They're trying to see. Why? Because they want your money. They want the glorification to say, okay, that's the spirit of this world. Because that's the spirit of this world, man. It's all about false talk, keep open. This and this and this. The society ain't about this, so I'm a servant of that. It's all about exalting yourself, being that nigga.
Yeah, this society doesn't teach you humility, man. Right. That's looked down upon in this society. You need to be humble.
Yeah, because people will run all over your ass, man. That's why people see that. They gotta say it. Nice guys finish last. Yeah. So people are like, fuck them. I ain't being nice. It's really nice when people look it up and means foolish. Yeah. Naive. You're naive. Okay? Which us is true, we're not naive. Alright, we're fair. We're balanced. We're not naive. Okay? If we treat people how we want to be treated, go to rule, man. Alright? Yeah, the world doesn't have that spirit, man. The world's all about cunning and deceiving people. Okay? So whereby they lie and wait to the sea, man.
I looked into the word slight. It's the word is kubaya, and it says metaphor the deception of men because dice players, because it says dice playing, and then it says metaphor the deception of men because dice players sometimes cheating and defrauded their fellow players.
Crap up to this day, man.
To this day,
they'll kill you. Yeah, niggas get beat up, hit with a 40 over their head, all that. The music videos they have.
Good, that's real.
That actually goes down, man. That's real. But remember we was in San Jose, see niggas would be shooting dice,
to this day.
In a little parking lot.
Yeah. Any brother seen there's a TV show called Brain? You heard of it? You should look like I would encourage everybody to look at this TV show called Brain Games because it pretty much shows all the witchcraft, like how they use colors, how they change words, how they use numbers and just do hella witchcraft on people to get them to get hungry, to be able to think that there's like some kind of sale going on, so they'll buy more shit.
What was that movie?
Brandon.
That's the one.
Yeah, subliminal messages. Yep. Yeah, because that's why these kids, these kids, they'll start having these different thoughts and these desires. Why? Because subliminally they defend that. They subliminally, and it gets pushed in your subconscious. So you don't even know where it came from, man. Like that movie Inception, man.
Yeah, that's
Esau is dropping thoughts in your head all day, and then what happens is eventually it starts to manifest. You start really thinking on it, you meditate on it, and then you do it, man. And then you get jacked up, man. Because then the judgment of the Heavenly Father comes upon you, man. You commit sin. That's what Esau does, man. That's why you got a rapid rise in homosexuality, man. Lesbianism. Because Esau's conditioning people's minds that, hey, oh, this is okay. That's that spirit that got weak. Okay, in Isaiah 19 chapter. You gotta run that back. Okay, so I got 3 seconds.
Habakkuk 1 and 3. Why dost thou show me iniquity?
Yeah, and that's all we see is iniquity, man. Right? The so-called white man just walking up and down the street, that's iniquity, man.
Right!
This guy's supposed to have some chains on him, man. Yeah, he's a wild beast, man. Right! He's a fugitive. Yeah, that's right. He's a fugitive, man. Yeah, they got the top 10 FBI list. Yeah. Oh, yeah, these niggas are on the run. You so-called white people, you're on the run, man.
Right!
They should be on that list, man. They should be on the top 10.
But he goes on, but he'll actually go on TV and you think he's a nice guy. Yeah. Like Jacob, watch out, he go there, he got his legs crossed, he's speaking all eloquent, nice. He's been in charge of killing billions of people.
Mass murderer.
He's a mass murderer, okay? Pedophile, all that, man. But you accept him, you want him to speak, and lecture, man, about how he got successful, man. By putting your ass to slavery, that's how he got successful.
Right!
Go ahead.
Why dost thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance?
And it causes us to behold grievance, and that's all we behold, man. Alright? All you see is pedophiles, homosexuals, Edomites, which you so-called white people. Right! Okay? That's a horrible sight, man. Right! I see an ugly red cave dweller, man. That's iniquity. Okay? And he thinks that he's better than you, man. But then he knows he's not. He's a bug out, man. So-called white, you're bug out.
For spoiling and violence are before me.
Man, for spoiling and violence, and that's all the so-called white man does. He spoils people through violence. Yeah. Okay, he doesn't ask. But they tell you niggas, hey, you gotta pull yourself up out of bootstraps, work hard, go to school. Alright, play the game the right way. Yeah, be a law-abiding citizen. Yeah, the so-called white man's going over and he's still in it, man. Yeah. He takes what he wants. Yeah. Micah the second child. Yeah. And it's all in the Bible. That's right, baby. Okay.
For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention.
Yeah, that's all America is about, man. Strife and contention. That's why people love reality TV shows. That's why they love fights. Okay? Because people love drama, man. Strife and contention. That's the spirit of the so-called white man. The so-called white man has the spirit of a woman on him. Yeah. Okay, he likes confusion and just turmoil. Everything being intense, gossiping, backstabbing, uniting. No peace. Yeah. And that's why they get along so good, man. That's how you knew to go to her. Go ahead.
Therefore the law is slack.
Therefore the law is slack. Okay? Go ahead.
And judgment does never go forth.
Yeah, judgment does go forth. Okay, that's why our people are always marching. No justice, no peace. Nigga, you haven't got justice for the past 500 years. Why is it so peaceful, man? Alright, when are you gonna start rousing up, man? Yeah. Genesis the 49th chapter.
And the so-called white man is incapable of executing justice, man.
Yeah.
Executing right judgment. He's the devil.
Yeah, he's the devil the Bible speaks of, man.
He's through. All he do is give you niggas little goodies to calm your ass down, man.
Oh yeah, he through. He through. He talking to all the demons, man. He's a bug out. Alright, finish it off, bro. Now about to talk his shit. Don't talk, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing, just go. Go, keep going.
Therefore the law is slack.
Yeah, therefore the law is slack, man.
And judgment doth never go forth.
Judgment doth never go forth, man.
For the wicked doth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth.
Yeah, wrong judgment proceedeth. Okay, you get shot in the back, right? The Edomite niggas, because you so-called white people, you're the real niggas. That's right. All right, you so-called white people, you Edomite, you're the real nigga. Okay. Yeah. But what you describe the so-called Negro as, that's you, man. Or a pimp, or a thug. Yeah, a violent beast. That's you so-called white people, man. Killing hundreds of millions of your own people. World War I and World War II, killing billions of our people, polluting the earth, polluting the water. Right here, that's why Master E, man.
Yeah.
The master of disaster. Okay, the no limit.
Okay? As you go to projects, you go and take them back, you know it's all dirty, bunch of litter around everywhere. The so-called white man, he litters the entire planet Earth.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And he's why now you're gonna have recycled drinking water, man. Brought to you by your neighborhood so-called white man. Okay? The one your friendly so-called white man. Okay? Yeah. In this society, judgment don't go forth, man. Okay? Yeah. Why destroy these things? Before that, you're gonna stir up this people. And there's gonna be race wars in this society. Good! Are you tense, stressed out so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans? You don't get that stress relief, you kick this on the head, man. Next time you see the LA riots, very young man, there was actually peace in LA for a year, man. They actually brought about peace, man. I remember 93 in school, man. In school. Essays in school, everybody in school, man. Why? Because everybody was eating off those riots, man.
Spirit, the tension to build up for that. It's huge tension, just like it is now. So that tension is building up for the riot.
Oh yeah, and everybody's talking about it. That's why you see they got all these documentaries about the LA riot. Yeah. To the point I brought it up, you see Jake, they beat Esau, they look cool, man.
Yeah, it's just they had the brick. Yeah. That nigga was elated, man. That was a therapy session for him, man. Get that Edomite with the brick, and nigga went like,
It was like they needed that. Yeah, they was turning up.
High five in the low.
It's gonna be like that again, man. The difference is, our people gonna be calling you an Edomite, man.
Straight up.
Yeah, get that Edomite ass nigga.
Yeah.
You know, JK, fuck Edomite, kick him in the head, California curb stop.
And you seen it on some of these comic boards too that you look at, you know.
Oh yeah.
Some of Jake know, they know.
Yeah. That nigga Edomite.
You call him a cuck.
Yeah, you call him a cuck. Yeah. Hey, they watch your video. What's up, brother?
Hey, it's okay. I don't have a question.
Go ahead, man. You got a question or something?
Yeah. If the race war is coming, how do we survive?
You gotta have faith, man. You gotta have faith.
Just pure faith?
That's it.
That's a lie too that we outnumbered. Yeah. You gotta take into account all these people on the sun right here. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They gonna join together going against the so-called white man. He's outnumbered. Yep. All throughout the earth. What's that?
We're gonna win.
Yeah, of course. These so-called these Edomites, they weak, man. Like this wimp right here. He's gonna be in the race war. He's a wimp, man. He's a cuck in training. He's a cuck. He don't got no martial arts skills. You know, he ain't never been in a war. He ain't never fought a day in his life.
It's a bug out.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a bug out. It's a hairy. This is Esau, a hairy red guy.
Hairy cave cuck.
Hairy cave cuck, man. Yeah, high water story. Got some young ass. Yeah, weirdo.
Jake run up on him. He gonna fold, man.
Yeah, he got some. Well, he gonna shoot himself just Jake rolling up on him.
Oh yeah.
He gonna shake his Daisy Dukes, man. Alright, let's go. Keep going, bro.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Alright,
I like it.
Yeah. Y'all got it, though.
You got the theory.
What you got? Maviano.
Micah 2:1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon your bed.
Yeah, that's talking about the son of a white man.
Okay, I thought that was the guy.
That's the one who's devising all this iniquity that you see. The brother was bringing out the first chapter, the iniquity that we have to behold, because going to Micah the 7th chapter, we're bearing the indignation of the Heavenly Father because we went off. So we understand this is something that we have to suffer for right now. This is not something that we have to get used to, okay? We just have to suffer because we're waiting for the Lord to move, man. We know that this ain't gonna last for long. And according to the prophecies, man, this thing about to change overnight. Alright?
When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
Yeah, that's letting you know who's in authority right now. The wicked. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Alright? The Lord put them in this rulership for this particular moment. So what? So that he can snatch him from out of rulership. So that he can condemn him for what he's done while he was in this rulership, man. You know, nothing but wickedness. Go ahead. So he's doing wickedness, alright? Destroying the water, destroying the mind of our people, okay? You know, destroying the earth, ultimately, because the earth is given into his hands. So he's utilizing that power that the Lord has given to what? To further destroy this place and destroy the people. That's why what Micah 2:10 says, arise out of this place, man. Spiritually, you know, all right, and come back into the Lord spiritually, all right, have faith. Stop having faith in the society and this devil, so-called white man, and start having faith in the law, the statutes, and your power, man. You know, start having faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Turn back, all right. Go ahead, Doc.
And they covet fields and take them by violence.
And that's how Esau got everything that he's so proud and boasts about, man. He didn't get it fair and square, all right. He's lied, deceived, and murdered for everything that he's obtained to this very moment, man. You know? Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead, bro.
And houses and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house.
Yeah, and that's what he's doing, all right? Because here it is. Hey, man, this land belonged up to Gad, Reuben, all right? You know, this land was already inhabited before you devils, you so-called white people, came over here and slaughtered and lied and deceived to get to walk up and down these shitty-ass, hard-ass concrete streets, man. You know that you sat here, because this wasn't here when you got here. Alright? Devils wanted to make it more Edomite friendly. Alright? Because you originally from the caves. You're cave cuts, man. Caucasus cave dwellers, alright? You're from the Caucasus Mountains. You know? Go ahead, Art.
So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage.
And that's what Esau does, man. Because he's meddling in other men's affairs. That's what he's good for. All right? He all up in your house, man. You know? Oh, you can't be disciplining your child. Or you can't be ruling over your woman. All right? You can't discipline your woman, you know? Hey, man, she has a right. She can do whatever she want to do. Esau comes in. He'll throw you in jail. He'll give your woman. He'll give the woman benefits because she benefit off the man not being in the house. All right? They can take the child, all right, give him to a homosexual, give it to a pedophile Edomite, or two faggot ass niggas, you know? All right? Yeah, go ahead, okay. So yeah, man, that's Esau, man. And he's doing that. All right, shalom, bro. And he's doing that. He's doing that to these other nations, all right? Somebody get Habakkuk with the second chapter, brother. He's doing that to these other nations now because he's meddling in the affairs of these other countries, man. And that's why ultimately what these nations are going to what team up and shoot nuclear missiles on this place, man. Right. You know. Good. You got that? Yeah. Yeah, you can start at 4 and keep going down.
God. Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
That's talking about you so-called white people, you Edomites. All right, your soul is lifted up with what? With pride, and it's not right in you. Esau can't do a damn thing right, okay? And the proof is in the pudding. Look at Babylon. Look at the earth. Look at the effect he's had on this earth. Look at the results. You know, nothing but bug outs, destroy land, destroy food, water, and destroy minds, man. Destroy people. All right.
But behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. But the just shall live by his faith.
That's talking about the elect, okay? The elect, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Faith in who? Faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You know, we just had an Israelite up here. He said, man, how we gonna overcome all this? You know, how we gonna win? All right. Hey, man, the bro said by faith. The just gonna live by his faith, and the just gonna win by his faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. We have faith in a winning power, man. The Lord is the ultimate Mayweather. All right, he's undefeated. He ain't never caught no L's. He ain't never retired. All right, he just gonna forever take wins, man. And as long as you on his side, you gonna win as well. All right.
Yeah. Also because he transgressed by wine.
Yeah, by those philosophies, okay, by those lies, by deception. All right. Go ahead, Art.
He is a proud man.
That's right. That proud spirit that he has on him. All right. That spirit that is lifted up in him, and he's gotten more proud by the more dominion he's gotten over this earth, man. He thought he did it himself, and he's to a point where he's thinking that nobody can take him down, man. Not knowing that the Lord put you in this position, and the Lord is about to take you right out of it, man.
Right. Neither keep it at home, Yeah, also because he transgressed my wine, he is a proud man, neither keep it at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. But gathered unto him all nations, and heaped unto him all people.
Yeah, bring that to the top of the book, show.
Come on. So this is Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold.
No, 5.
Yeah. This is Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yeah. Also because he transgressed my wine, he is a proud man. Neither keep it at home, who enlarged his desire as hell.
Yeah, that's right. Going to what? Him meddling in other men's affairs. Now he's going into these other countries, and he's like, hey, man, y'all are holding y'all people in bondage. We gotta give them democracy. You gotta give the women liberty. And now that's what they use to justify going to them lands, and they're destroying. They have destroyed the lands. They destroyed the people. You know, they want to make these other countries like Babylon. All right, and these countries are fighting tooth and nail to stop that, man. All right, keep going on.
Yeah, also because he transgressed my wine, he is a proud man, neither keep it at home, who enlarged his desire as hell.
Yeah, he don't stay at home. He's always in somebody else's house, all right? Always in somebody else's land, all right? Always in somebody else's business, all right? The scriptures speak about meddling not in another man's affairs, all right? But yeah, we're dealing with the devil, the no limit nigga, Master E, man. He's pressing the bar. He like, what? You ain't tell me what to do. Look, this devil. Bug out, man. Being destructive. Being an Edomite. That's a little Edomite child, man. You know, hey, your brother can get that in Isaiah. You know, children rule over them, man. That's talking about Esau. All right. You know. Keep going on.
Behold, his soul which is lifted up. Yeah. Also because he transgressed my wine, he is a proud man. Neither keep it at home, who enlarged his desire as hell.
Yeah, he don't keep at home. All right. He's all over the place. And really, this ain't even his home. You know? Your home is in the Caucasus Mountains, you devil. All right, you so-called white people, you from the caves. Right! That's why everything that you look at has what? Has a cave outlook to it, man. These buildings look like big-ass caves, man. The ground is full of pavement concrete. All right? And nobody's comfortable with walking on this shit other than you devils, you so-called white people. All right? Nobody cool with this shit, you dumbass people. You don't question why the hell you got back problems, all right? Why your body all fucked up? You dumb bitches, man. You walk around hills. Let's put more hell on yourself, man.
Right.
But you dumbass hoes, man. You love hell, all right? So you Edomites, man. You're for the Caucasus Mountains, man. All right. So this ain't even your land, man. You know.
Can I say something? Hey. You know what Esau does? He talks about how he civilized certain places, but really what Esau does, he goes around and uncivilizes places. Because there ain't nothing civil about pedophilia. There ain't nothing civil about two men having sex with each other. That's actually anti-societal, man. Because if two men are having sex with each other, how are they gonna reproduce, man? How are they gonna bring children? How are they gonna bring forth a society or a civilization? If they're promoting homosexuality between men and women, you got lesbians, you got homosexuals, and they go to these other nations and they indoctrinate them and say that you're supposed to give these people rights, man. That's uncivilization, man. You pretty much tearing down civilizations at this point, man. That's what you Edomites do. You go and you uncivilize civilized people.
Because what you are uncivilized, really, you bring people down to your vibration. Because the Lord set it up the base of all nations. You're the lowest thing on earth, man. You know, and here it is. What? So you being the lowest thing on earth, and you're in a position of power. You got to get everybody down to your vibration, because you ain't no way you can get up to ours. Especially not us, the Israelites. We above you. We're better than you. All right. The Lord gave us law, statutes, and commandments to be civilized. All right. Like this brother going into, you made everything uncivilized. You made everything more difficult. Yeah, more upside down, more difficult. Because the Lord made everything plain. All right. He laid out the guidelines, man. Yet here it is, the devil throwing that to the side. Oh man, that's not good. I'm gonna have to. It's not good enough. Basically, telling the Lord, you went off. You know. You got it, brother. Yeah.
You know, because this, I'm gonna go kind of deep right now. This Genesis 3 and 14 It says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Hey, so the Lord cursed you from the beginning to go to receive these curses that you're going to receive in the kingdom, to be the base of men, all right, to be violent on the earth. This goes all the way back to Genesis, man. It goes all the way back to the garden when you went to and beguiled Eve and had her eat of the fruit of the tree of knowledge and good and evil. Hey, man, that curse goes all the way back to then, and now you're going to be playing it out in this time. You're going into the kingdom of heaven. You're going to be nothing, and then the Lord's going to completely destroy you, man.
And it's been playing out since you've been here, all right? You've been here more than once, Esau. Everybody has, okay? So every time you came, them plagues was further playing off on you. When you came back as Cain, all right, you was hit with a mark. When you came back as Esau, that mark of your pigmentation being wasted away played out. Oh man, and then what? What do you say? When they see me, they gonna slay me. You know? So all these curses going back to the garden of eating of confusion, or the dust of the earth represent confusion, being the confused state that you are in today. All right, you know, and what the earth being cursed, it goes into that Isaiah the 24th chapter, because of the inhabitants thereof, because you devils are in rulership, man, and that's a curse unto you. And then the earth is therefore a curse because the curse are in rulership, man. So everybody, including the earth, is affected by default, man. Go ahead,
Did you on Habakkuk?
Yeah. Did you? Okay.
God. It's Habakkuk 2 and 5. And at his death, who enlarges desire as hell, and at his death cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heap unto him all people.
Yeah, he's as death, man. Everywhere he goes, it's nothing but death and turmoil wherever he's at, you know.
Hey, shalom.
All right, shalom, my kid. Shalom, brother. You know, the scriptures refer to Esau as the border of wickedness. So wherever he goes, wickedness is right there, man, because he's bringing it. You know. All right. Can you repeat that last part?
God. But gathered unto him all nations, and heaped unto him all people.
Yeah, that's what he's doing, and that's what you have in Babylon. All right, the land of confusion. You have a mixture of all nations, of all philosophies. Okay. Of everything in one, of what Esau ultimately wants, so-called New World Order, all right? One power, one belief, ultimately what? That RFID microchip, him being the God. You believing in him and his society, worshiping him. Yes, bro?
Jeremiah 51 and 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken.
And that's beautiful, because that brings it back to the original point, you know? That's why Esau's over in these other countries, man. Throwing around his philosophies and destroying their livelihood and the order that they got going on in these countries, man. All right, go ahead,
Yeah, it says, Jeremiah 51 and 7 says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
Yeah, the nations have drunk of the philosophies, all right? They took upon them the Edomite of governing themselves and living. They listening to you devils, and then they see what? They see that it got them in nothing but turmoil, confusion, chaos, destroyed their land, all right? And it benefited nobody but you damn devils, you Edomites, you so-called white people. It didn't benefit their country, it didn't benefit their people, all right? It further destroyed it, man. And that's why these nations are mad. And when you look into that word "mad," it basically means to be psycho. All right, that's why they're going to be a person that's schizophrenic, they're psychotic, they're crazy, they're liable to do anything. All right, and that's the point that the Lord has used Esau, the left-hand side, to push these nations to, man. To the point where they're thinking like, you know what? They're thinking about themselves and their people and their land. They're like, man, we just got to destroy America, man. You know, look what this devil has done. They lied unto us. We drinking of their philosophies. We further put our people into slavery. You know, hey man, we gotta destroy this so-called white man. All right, and the stronghold of you so-called white people is what? America. Right. So thus far, we gotta destroy America.
That's right.
With you people in it.
Right.
Fuck you going? Nowhere. All right. You dumbass people with so much slaves, you don't want to go nowhere. It's the best place on earth. You know, to be a demon. So the Lord has that spirit, that in your spirit to not want to go nowhere, so you can stay here and get your judgment. You know. You got more on that? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
So Isaiah 29.
You was finished, right, word? Okay.
It's Isaiah 29 and 16. Surely a turning of things upside down.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We're going to start off by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. And we also want to give double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone. We want to give peace and salutations to the elect. All right, the house of David, which we are building. All right, as it says in the scriptures aforetime, in the latter days, the house of David will be reassembled. All right, and come back to its power, man. And that's what's happening in the sight of all of you heathen, in the sight of you niggas, and in the sight of everybody else. The elect are coming back together, and this is who this book was written for, the elect of Israel, all right, to come to the understanding in the latter days, all right, and call on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and things would happen. And as you can see, since that name has been returned to the Israelites, the so-called white man system is going down, all right, at an exponential rate, all right, it's crumbling. He's confused. He's on the ropes. All right. He's a sinking ship. You got one patch. You try to patch that up. Then another patch comes open. Then you got to try to, and eventually you're going to sink. All right. And we're living in the times where a lot is happening, but much more has to happen. Okay. But we're right there at the end. But particular things has to happen in politics. The angels got to work on the minds of the leaders to do this, to do that. We know martial law is coming. We know the issuing forth of the chip, the mark of the beast is coming. All right. And pretty much prophecy is proving itself to be true once again. All right. And we're in the driver's seat through the Holy Spirit. And we just got to keep the jab out there, which is Hamashiach Yahushua. So today, through the Spirit, we wanted to get into understanding the role of a priest and what we're coming into, because as we'll get that in. Peter, you got it? Somebody got it? We are a royal priesthood, okay? And I want brothers to understand, as we were talking about before the camera came on, you're not just no willy-nilly nigga, man, okay? You're a priest of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai if you are one of those men. And that's what you're striving to be. So we have to understand, what is a priest and what role do they play within the nation of Israel. When you look at the nation of Israel, it's very technical, man. It's a very, very technical dynamic that you got to pay attention to. Okay, but now the Lord has put the Spirit on us, and we got to learn on the fly. We got to learn quick. We're being prepared to be judges of the earth. All right, the nation of Israel should come to us, all right, to understand how to handle things. All right, and everything, man, to get the breakdowns, they have to come to the priest. All right, so get that, brother.
God, this is first Peter chapter 2. I'll start at verse 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisy and envy and all speakings, and all evil speakings, as newborn babes desire the sin milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby.
Right, the sincere milk. Now, we're living in a time where you got to cling to the sincere milk. Now you have people trying to change and alter the sincere milk. We're not in those times. We're in a time where things should be clear to you, man. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 3. If so be ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious, to whom coming as unto a lively stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of Yahweh and precious.
Right.
Ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house.
Right, lively stones. When you go into the stones, man, no, they're beautiful. You're not just a concrete rock, man, as this world has you to believe. You're more than that, man. And you have to walk with that integrity, man. Understanding what you're a part of, understanding you're the head of a camp or you over particular brothers. That role is very important within our nation, man. Okay, go ahead.
God, ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood.
Right.
To offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Yahweh by Yahushua.
Right. So So we're offering up spiritual sacrifices. Now the role of a priest is what? They're basically the mediator to bring, all right, the nation of Israel back to the Heavenly Father. It was through the sacrifice of what? The goats, you know, the ram, and particular things under the first covenant, all right, that the priests were responsible for. Okay, but now when you read the scriptures, what does it say? Revelation, the 5th chapter. They have made us a nation of priests, and it's also in Exodus 19. You know, unless somebody else got something. Yep. Go ahead.
Verse 6. Wherefore also it is contained in the scripture. Behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded.
Right. He that believeth on him shall not be confounded, man. And Yahweh Shai is the most highest priest. Okay? Under the order of Melchizedek, we are going to be a nation of kings and priests, and that's what we're preparing to be. The 144,000. That's why it says they follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. The Lamb is a sacrifice, and also the 144,000 are a sacrifice. And through their sacrifice, the whole nation is going to be brought back, all right? Well, through the Yahweh Shai sacrifice, and under him, his men, through their sacrifice, the 144, the whole nation is going to be restored to righteousness. Okay? Just basically, we're coming in a lot of Noah. Everything is going to be comforted through the 144,000 being reestablished. And Noah was a priest, which will prove that too. Go ahead.
Skip down to verse 9. This is 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9.
Right.
But ye are a chosen generation,
right?
A royal priesthood.
A chosen generation. And when was that priesthood chosen? From the foundation of the earth.
Yep.
Okay? They were blessed from the foundation of the earth with the job, all right, or assignment of helping the Messiah to pretty much formulate everything you know as it is today. Okay? And now, all right, we had the falling away, and we're coming back, and that's what we're coming back and fighting to get back into those good graces with Yahweh.
Yep.
All right, through his son Yahweh Shai.
They had the authority with Yahweh Shai to make the order of the universe and the planet itself. But this heavy.
Right.
Whenever that, you know, when you go into the book of Genesis and you see the formation, it talks about how the Shemaims were put together and the firmaments. Right. There was order created within that, and the first fruits were there, putting that order and arrangement together.
Right.
They also was a part of the first people that went to enjoy it.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Along with Yahweh Shai.
That's right. Part of that delegation.
Like, let's go enjoy this work.
That's right. That's right.
So those first fruits, Lord willing, those same priests are coming back to get glory with Yahweh Shai, be raised up with them, and then come back down and enjoy the first fruits of the kingdom of the Most High.
There you go. Be fruitful and multiply.
Complete evolution.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what we're fighting to.
Right.
To be. That's a
quick precept. Revelation chapter 1, verse 5. And from Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who is the faithful witness and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loveth us and washed us from our sins in his own blood, and hath made us kings and priests unto Yahweh and his Father.
Right. To
him be glory and dominion forever and ever.
Right.
Amen.
That's right. So we're fighting to come back into that priesthood, the sons of God.
Okay. And show you that they understood the prophecy. Because at the time that when that was written, they was slapping captivity, and getting their ass kicked. Yeah.
That's right. So we're gonna get an article too here later on, but we're gonna get a few more scriptures. Okay, read that again. Read what you just read again, Brother Bishop.
Peter.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 Peter 2 and 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood,
right,
and holy nation.
Right, a holy nation. Now within Israel, when you read the scriptures, within the nation of Israel, it's even separated into two nations. You have the prophets and those who believe the prophets, and you have the wicked of our people, the 2/3. They're a generation unto themselves, and the elect men are a generation unto themselves. Mm-hmm. And under Yahweh Shai, those are the priests. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to get into is what is the role of a priest and understanding what you're coming into. All right, we're not coming into just putting on garments, getting drunk, and fucking hoes all day. No, this is a very calculated and spiritual, important role. All right, just as when you read the book of Noah, that role that he played when he, stayed faithful to that calling and reestablished everything in righteousness, was basically what we're coming into. And what does the name Noah mean? Comfort. Okay? When Noah got off the boat, all right, what did he do? He sacrificed. He's a priest. And what did he do? He built a vineyard. What are we going to do? We're going to clean up the whole earth. We're going to plant new vineyards. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're coming in that lot, okay, as the priest to reestablish righteousness, man. Okay? Go ahead.
It says, a holy nation, a particular, a peculiar people,
right?
That ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness unto his marvelous light.
Right. So we're chosen to show forth the praises of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, that particular priesthood, and that's what's being established, the house of David. You see, peculiar.
It's heavy because of that peculiar people. They're going to be particular about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua and how to conduct themselves. You know what I mean?
Right. Or they'll get put to death.
That's right.
All right. Because when you under the first covenant, okay, the who were the priests? Who were the priests under the Levites were the priests. All right, in the first covenant. All right, Lawayah, joined to me. The nation of Israel was joined to the Heavenly Father through what? The law, statutes, and commandments. Okay, that's the marriage. Okay, and we broke that covenant. Now the Lord is raising up, all right, us, all right, under the new covenant. We're all priests. Get that in Revelation, the 5th chapter. Go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 5, verse 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
Right, because we were scattered among the nations. That's the mystery of the Gentiles. You see, but go ahead.
And have made us unto our power kings and priests.
Kings and priests. Look at that word priest there. See, let's see if we can get a little history on it. But you got that article goes into some history. Yeah, we'll get that too. But just see what it says.
Strong's G 2409 Yerus. Yerus.
It says Yerus. It says a priest, one who offers sacrifices in general is busy with sacred rites.
Right, and what is the sacrifice? Your body, all right, in the new covenant, the elect men, your body is the living sacrifice, man, that you're offering up. Okay? And the altar, basically, when we doing these videos, this is an altar. All right, when we out on the highways and the byways, those are altars. And we're offering up spiritual sacrifices, all right, and through those sacrifices, the Lord is going to be back at one with the nation of Israel, all right, in due time. So, man, you people talk shit about the men of the Lord. When we get in the kingdom, you're going to look at the men of the Lord. You're going to appreciate them for that sacrifice, man. You're going to understand their importance. They're going to be hallowed in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? Go ahead.
It says metaphorically of followers of Hamashiach, because purified by the blood of Hamashiach,
right,
and brought into close intercourse with Yahweh,
right,
they devote their life to him alone and to Hamashiach.
Right. And man, and it happens before you were formed in the belly. All right, this happened from the foundation of the earth, as the brother just read in Peter. He have chosen us. All right, that priesthood was chosen from way before, man. And those are the sons of God. Those are the Alahayim who, from the beginning, were at good graces. All right, he had the chief top priest, which is Yahushua. Okay, and then what? You had his men under him, man. Okay.
So now we all joined to the Most High. You know how you go into that word lawyer, Levi.
Right.
You joined us, like basically joined unto the Heavenly Father, man.
Right.
Now that whole nation, man,
right,
is going to have that intimate relationship as it should be. As it was said, I wanted to get that word priest in, but I go to the book of Exodus.
Yeah, it's been a Hebrew.
Okay, I wanted to go to the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 5. It says, Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
Woo! Then shall you be a peculiar treasure. And then we just read the peculiar treasure is going to be that spiritual priesthood, because under the first covenant, it was only the Levites that were responsible for that duty. Okay, but now the Lord has raised up us up, and under the order of Melchizedek, which is Hamashiach Yahushua, the Most High's priest, okay, we're all going to be priests. Okay, starting with the house of David, the 144,000, with King David being the head of that church under the Messiah. All right.
Yep. In verse 6 in Exodus the 19th chapter, it says, "And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests."
Right.
Kingdom of priests and an holy nation.
Mm-hmm.
These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
Right, and that was a prophecy, because under that first covenant, only the Levites, and then amongst the Levites, there were particular Levites that were able to allow to touch the Ark of the Covenant. You know, it was specific of the house of Aaron, okay, which was Moses' brother, which they were Levites, okay. Yes.
I was just going back up, just kind of the word priest.
Okay, go ahead.
You want to get that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just that word priest here in Exodus 19:6. What is Kahan? Or Kahan. It says priest, principal officer, or chief ruler.
Right.
Priest, king. Melchizedek, Messiah.
Right.
Then it goes into like pagan priest, priest of Yahweh, Levitical priest, Zodakite priest, Aaronic priest, high priest.
Right.
When you go into Kahan and click on the root word, it says to act as a priest, minister in a priest's office. To minister as a priest, basically, you know, just be a priest. It says a prophet, soothsayer, one who undertakes anyone's cause.
And pretty much through what we're doing, we're taking on the cause of really all Israel. Okay? Just like Yahushua, what he did, took on the cause of the elect. And really, eventually, it's going to be all Israel. But we're taking on the cause of our nation, man. Okay? The pretty much through our sacrifice, everybody going to eat if we're those men. Okay? Go ahead.
Pretty much at the point on that. Let me see if there's anything in the Bible spoken to it. Says Israel was primarily designed as a nation to be a kingdom of priests, offering service to the Most High. That's pretty much the point.
I had a scripture.
Okay, go ahead.
Nothing that stands out too great.
Okay.
Just kind of more so going into just how, you know, over the evolution and later under Yahushua, because Loya or Levi, who those were the nation of priests, the sons of Aaron, that means joined unto me. The nation as a whole, we were supposed to be joined unto the Most High by a mediator. But through that sacrifice that Yahushua made, he made that ultimate sacrifice. So that's how we're all coming under the order to be a nation completely of kings and priests. This is Hebrews 7, and I'll just start at 12 just to hit a quick point. It says, for the priesthood being changed, there is made a necessity, or Salaki, there is made of necessity a change also of the law.
Right, and what was the change? The sacrifice. We no longer have to offer up a goat or a lamb or, you know, a turtle dove or whatever to get back to the good graces of the Most High. It's through the sacrifice made by Yahushua, which all of that was from the foundation of the earth. The lamb slain from the foundation of the earth when you read Revelation. Go ahead.
Yep. Verse 13, it says, for he of whom these things are spoken, and that's talking about Yahushua, it says, pertaineth to another tribe. Talking about a tribe outside the Levites.
That's right.
Lord, joined unto me.
Right.
Then the nation, the sons of Aaron specifically, who was set up to be the priests. It says, for he of whom these things are spoken pertaining to another tribe, of which no man gave attendance at the altar. So what? To do what? To make a sacrifice. As that was the acts of a priest for the nation. It says, verse 14, for it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood.
Right.
And I'll just read 15. It says, and it is yet far more evident, for that after the similitude of Melchizedek, there ariseth another priest. Because that's what it's after the order of. I think in Psalms, it says, thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. But the elect within that order, we fall in line as a nation under that priesthood. You know, it's not just dedicated to that one tribe like it was set up to be.
Right.
Right. You know? Right. Now they want to deviate. You could probably go to the article.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, this is an article. It's on gotquestions.org, Levitical priesthood. The question is, what was the Levitical priesthood? Answer: the Levitical priesthood began with Aaron, the older brother of Moses. Exodus 28:1-3. Aaron's descendants served as the priests in Israel, ministering in the tabernacle and later the temple, primarily as mediators.
Start over what it said.
Kind of. It says the Levitical priesthood began with Aaron, the older brother of Moses.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron's descendants served as the priest in Israel,
Mm-hmm.
ministering in the tabernacle and later the temple.
Right, and what are we doing? We're building a spiritual temple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's where the Lord's judgment will dwell with those men. Okay, because the priests were overseers of the temple.
Right.
Okay, offering up the sacrifices, doing particular prayers, burning the incense, which is the sweet savor. Now, what's the sweet savor? The word. So everything that the priests were doing in a physical sense, we're now doing in a spiritual sense. Okay, just as when you read the building of the temple, it was built based upon what he saw in the heavens. Okay, the vision that he saw in the heaven, how everything is set up in the heavens.
When you read Exodus 34, read Exodus 35, 36.
Right.
Yeah, man, the particular nature of how everything's put together gives you an idea of how, we should be.
Right. Right. You got the mercy seat that sits on the ark. All right. And only the specific Levites were allowed access to that. You see? But now, through the sacrifice of Mashiach Yahushua, we're all, as a nation, starting with the 144, whoever they may be, all right, wherever they at, because you should be looking for them. That's where you should be looking for. Where is the house of David being built at? Because that's where the Lord's judgment dwells. Go ahead.
God, it says, ministering in the tabernacle and later the temple, primarily as mediators between man and God.
Right, mediators between, all right, man and God, the Israelites and the Most High. Okay, when you read, somebody get Exodus, Ezekiel, I'll get it. Because the priest, Ezekiel 44, and they shall teach them between clean and unclean.
Ezekiel what?
It's Ezekiel 44. Put in clean,
unclean,
or profane and unclean, something like that in there. Keep reading.
44:23.
Yeah, this is Ezekiel 44:23. And this is talking about the priest. It says, and they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean. And this is our job. Okay, this is why you got to take this job serious, man. You can't just be no willy-nilly nigga, man.
Yeah, but that's what we see, man. It's already on the common board.
Jealousy.
Oh, who's that?
Old niggas. Just grow up, nigga. World War III is on the horizon. Nigga, grow up.
They're not. Well, they wasn't chosen to grow up.
God damn.
That's the job of the priest. All right, and the people who are ordained to believe, they're gonna hear that word and come to righteousness and repentance. They're just set up to be niggas, man.
Yep.
Anybody who looks at the world can clearly see it's not time to play games. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the Lord didn't put the spirit on them to grow up and take things serious. They're not going to take anything serious until their life is on the line, until there's a gun pointed at their head by the so-called white man, all right, or martial law breaks out, and then they're going to try to get serious. No, it's going to be too late. You're going to be given over to your own devices, man. Go ahead.
Now, back to the article.
Yeah.
God. It said the Levitical priests bore the responsibility of offering the sacrifices required by the Mosaic law. Some of the Levitical priests in the Bible are Ezra, Eli, and Zechariah, the father of John the Baptist.
Mm-hmm. And they were always at the head of and what did John the Baptist do? He brought the hearts of the fathers to the children and the hearts of the children to the fathers.
He was a Levite. Yeah.
He was a Levite.
his father Zacharias. Yep.
Right, and that's what we're set up to do, to bring, all right, because you got to, when you read John the 17th chapter, Yahushua prayed for the 144,000, but he also prayed for those who would believe on him through their word. See? So through the word of the elect men, all right, the doctrine of the elect men, those who are of the nation who were slated for salvation are going to hear, believe, and be brought back. However the Lord sets it up to be. Okay, go ahead.
The term Levitical is derived from the Israelite tribe of Levi. Levi was the third son of Leah and Jacob, and the father of the tribe of Levi, the tribe of Moses and Aaron. Originally, it was the firstborn son of every family who was consecrated to Yahweh and inherited the birthright, leadership, authority, etc.
Right.
As Exodus 13:2.
And that's what makes us peculiar, because Jacob wasn't born first. Esau was born first. But see, the spirit intervened. Okay?
That's how it always be. The Most High has done that throughout all the scriptures.
Right.
Just to prove his authority over the situation.
Right.
The Most High will do something that's off from the course of things to prove his authority over the situation.
Right.
To show you his might. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right, brother.
That's right.
Now, we see this institution of first things being what Yahweh requires as far back as Genesis 4:4, when Yahweh was pleased with the firstborn of Abel's flock that he offered to Yahweh. Later, when Yahweh made Israel into a nation, he called them his firstborn son.
Right, when read that again?
Later, when Yahweh made Israel into a nation, he called them his firstborn son.
Right, now when did that happen? When did Israel be in the firstborn? When did that happen? Somebody get Sirach 24. Baba Kasha. That happened from the foundation of the earth. What's that in Ephesians where it says the Lord have chosen you in?
I got it. Says 1, I think.
Right. Yeah. Get that, and then somebody get Sirach 24. Okay.
This is
it's like Ephesians 1 and
yeah, it's like 5, but you can read all the way down. This is Ephesians 1.
Start at 3.
This is Ephesians 1:3. Blessed be the power and Father of our Lord Yahweh Mashiach,
right,
who had blessed us with all spiritual blessings in heavenly places in Hamashiach.
Right. He's given us the Holy Spirit, so we're able to understand judgment. We're able to understand how to judge, when to judge, how to, discern particular things. And the nation, they have to come to the priest for that. It's never changed.
Yep.
It's just that now we're of all tribes. But you have, and this is what Israel is trying to get around. You got to go to the priest to get the understanding and to get in good favors of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. What did he tell the disciples? Okay, what did he say? He that heareth you heareth me. Okay, and he also said basically, who sins you bind, you bind. Who sins you forgive. What does that mean? That judgment is given into the hands of these men.
Kings had to go to the priest.
Up to the prophet. Yeah, the kings had to go to the prophet.
Yep.
The priest. That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Go ahead.
This is Ephesians 1:4. It says, according as he had chosen us in him before the foundation of the world.
Right. He has chosen us in him from the foundation of the world. So as you just read, the brother said that the Lord chose Israel as his firstborn son. All right, from the foundation of the earth. All right, I mean, read it again, what it said about the firstborn son.
God.
And then somebody gets Sirach 24. Go ahead.
It says,
okay.
Yes, we see the institution of the first things being what Yahweh required as far as back as Genesis 4:4, when Yahweh was pleased with the firstborn of Abel's flock that he offered.
Abel was a priest. See that?
Yep.
he was a priest.
So he did an acceptable sacrifice.
He did an acceptable sacrifice.
Because we were supposed to be a nation. It was built within the culture.
Right.
You see,
the
the sons of God had the way of life built. It was built within the culture.
Right.
That was how we were supposed to be. The Most High set it up that out of the 12 tribes, that the Levites will be at the forefront of making sure the culture and the standard of Yahweh Shemiah was being kept. But really, it wasn't meant to be that way. Yep. It's supposed to be, we was all supposed to be
in us.
Yep. It's supposed to be in us, man.
That's right.
Okay.
Abel had the spirit of a priest in him
That's
already.
right.
It was just in him innately. He just knew what to offer.
Well,
he knew what to come to the altar with.
He learned it from his father. He learned it from his dad. Adam. You know what I'm saying? Just as Shem kept the ways of the sons of God from Noah.
Noah, that's right, who was a priest.
That's right. And Shem passed it down. You know, he had sons and that came in after that, and in a certain line kept that way, man.
That's right. That's right. And we're back here as the remnant. We're trying to restore that, man. And that's what we represent. Okay, but this is real quick. This is Genesis 8 and 13. All right. Now, who was in charge? Who could remove the covering from the ark? Only particular priests, right? This is Genesis 8 and 13. And it came to pass on the 601st year in the first month, in the first day of the month, that the waters dried up from off the earth, and Noah removed the covering from off the ark. He was a priest, and looked up, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. Now, when you go down, okay, Noah, in verse 20, it says, and Noah, when he got off the boat, built an altar unto the Lord, and took every clean beast and every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And Yahweh smelled a sweet savor, which is what he's smelling through us going out on the highways and the byways and doing these videos. All right, when you read Corinthians, it tells you that his word is like to a sweet savor. So it said the Lord smelled a sweet savor, okay, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not curse the ground anymore for man's sake. So it was through that sacrifice that Noah made that made the Lord say, you know what, I'm not gonna flood the earth. It was mercy, right? Yeah. And then he gave the rainbow as a covenant. I'm not gonna do it no more. But it was through that sacrifice. It was through that that sweet savor, and the Lord smelled it because the Lord loves good smells. All right. And it wasn't just when you read about those sacrifices. There was also fragrances, particular different woods, particular woods. It wasn't just any type of wood. Just like when Solomon built the temple, it wasn't just any kind of wood. So the Lord smelled that sacrifice, and what did that lead to? Mercy. See that? It led to mercy. And this is what's happening here on the planet Earth through us, the royal priesthood, Lord willing, with those men. Okay, go ahead.
2 Corinthians 2 and 14. Now, thanks be unto the Most High, which always causes us to triumph in Hamashiach, and make it manifest the savor of his knowledge by us in every place.
Right, that's sweet, those sweet savors that the priest offered up. Now, what is the sweet savor? It's reading it.
Yep.
This word, the doctrine going out in its purest form. Okay, the new song. Go ahead.
Yep. 2 Corinthians 2 and 15 says, for we are unto the Most High a sweet savor of Hamashiach, in them that are saved, and in them that perish.
Ooh, in them that are saved, and in them that perish. So we're a sweet savor to you who are going to believe and come unto the word, and we're a sweet savor unto those niggas who are going to die.
Yeah,
that's a part of the full understanding that this nation, that this part of our it got to be clipped off. Unclean. It's outside of the temple. Okay.
It's to the one, we are a savor of death unto death.
Right. So for one, we're a savor of death unto death. For one group, all right, and then you're gonna die.
Yeah, you hear it, and
you through to the other nation.
Immediately a hole pops into his sock, and he on the comment board talking shit.
Right.
You know.
Right. So with a bag of Taco Bell on the side of
it. Preaching. You know.
Okay.
It says,
well, you here? These niggas, you here?
The niggas staring at the screen right
now. You there?
Talking shit.
Texting the other stuff.
M&M.
Yeah. Without the peanuts in it. You know a nigga crazy eat the one without the peanuts.
Yeah, he don't even get the peanuts.
Go ahead.
Talk about, I like the real.
And they need this energy. They need this energy. They need us to say something about them so that they can have energy to do more videos.
It's okay. It's okay.
Go ahead.
It says, to one, we are the savor of death unto death. Hey, it's funny, man. I had somebody coming to the office talking about the scalpel. That's some crazy people. They weird.
If people are waking up to
People
how
see
stupid
these
you
niggas
people
are
are.
weird, man. When you listen to them, you know,
It's just
it's just malice and backbite.
Right, but they don't even matter. Keep reading.
To one, we are the savor of death unto death, and to the other, we are the savor of life unto life.
Right.
And who is sufficient for these things? For we are not as many which corrupt the word of the Heavenly Father. And it's all about the doctrine.
Right.
That's really what this is all centered around. It's all about the breaking down of the prophecies concerning Yahweh Shai and the kingdom of heaven. That's what it's all about concerning Yahweh Shai and the kingdom of heaven. How the Most High's will is going to go out and establish this new priesthood.
That's it.
This new order and arrangement, this heavenly order and arrangement on the planet Earth.
That's right.
That's what's important.
That's right.
That's the focus.
Right.
That's how can we get this standard,
The
how is this way going to be established on the planet Earth.
And that's the remnant. That's why the scripture said, "Left the Lord have left us a remnant." We be a Sodom, and we be if the Lord didn't have set up men with this mind frame. Look what our people would be into. They would just be here, Scott, just forever.
2 Chainz.
All that other madness. Now, go ahead.
For we are not as many which corrupt the word of the Most High, but as of sincerity, but as of the Most High, in the sight of the Most High, speak we in Hamashiach.
The truth. See that? Now, we were reading how brothers understand from the foundation of the earth. You understand that Israel was chosen as a nation, all right, from the foundation of the earth. Now, we're going to get how. But also within Israel, the priests, the first fruits of the nation of Israel, what matters right now. That's what's being reestablished in their order. Okay? Go ahead. Sirach 24:1. Sorry, keep reading down.
This is Sirach 24:1. It says, wisdom shall praise herself and shall glory in the midst of her people.
Right. Wisdom. Now, what is wisdom? The word of the Heavenly Father. And what's the word of the Heavenly Father? Yahweh Shai. What did Yahweh Shai send us? The Comforter. He gave us the ways of righteousness, discernment, to be in the spirit of understanding. Okay? Now, that was from the foundation. In the beginning, it was the family line of Adam that had this. Okay? Passed on down. All right? When you read the story, the Bible, the story and the narrative is this chosen people. All right? From the time of Adam, all right, on down through, because Abel was killed, Seth. Okay, and you keep reading. No, all of these men were people whom the Lord gave his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to forward his way on the planet Earth, right? Okay, and they were priests. Okay, go ahead.
It says, verse 2, in the congregation of the Most High shall she open her mouth and triumph before his power.
Right, in the congregation of what is the congregation of the Most High? Israel.
Right.
And within Israel, it's the elect. Go ahead.
It says, I came out of the mouth of the Most High,
right,
and covered the earth as a cloud.
Right, and that's wisdom. That's Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. The wisdom of the heaven, the wisdom that the Lord spoke forth. It has action. It does things. And it is a power and an entity within itself. Now, how the hell are you going to say you worship the Most High, but you don't worship his word? That's like your woman saying, I worship you. But what you say, You see, that's how disrespectful Jake is, man. Go ahead.
It says, I dwelt in high places, and my throne is in a cloudy pillar.
Right, go ahead.
I alone compassed the circuit of heaven and walked in the bottom of the deep.
That's right, go ahead.
In the waves of the sea, and in all of the earth, and in every people and nation, I got a possession.
In every people and nation, from the foundation of the earth. This is before it was flesh. See, every family was a family spiritually before it was a family carnally. Okay, so wisdom from the foundation of the earth had possessed, pretty much the Yahweh Shai possesses all people, but watch this, go ahead.
Verse 7, it says, with all these I sought rest.
Right.
And in whose inheritance shall I abide?
So did the Lord rest in Moab? Did he rest in Ham? No. Did the Lord's wisdom rest in any other nation? Who did the Lord's wisdom rest in? Go ahead.
It says, verse 8, so the creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thine inheritance in Israel.
In Israel. Okay? That's why the priests were Israelites. That's why all of the righteous men on the planet Earth, starting with the sons of God, that's what the Bible was dealing with. That understanding and way was not given to every nation or just anybody. It was given to a specific line on the planet Earth. Okay? And what we represent as the remnant, we're reestablishing that, because it was through all of the righteous acts of our forefathers that we have this platform today. It is through the righteous works of the elect men under the sacrifice of Yahushua in which the kingdom of heaven is going to come. You can't separate the two. Okay, go ahead. Is that pretty much it? That's it. Okay, go ahead and then get back to it.
Sirach 17:17. For in the divisions of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people.
He set a ruler over every people. And I'm going to tell you this, like Vocab Malone made a video that the Esau was blessed. Well, we agree. All nations were blessed. But who was blessed to be the chosen, and who was blessed with the law, statutes, and commandments? Israel.
God.
All nations. Ishmael was blessed. The Lord is balanced and fair. Esau was blessed. Look what he got. Okay, go ahead.
It says, but Israel is the Lord's portion.
There you go.
Whom being his firstborn.
Firstborn, because the priests were usually what? The firstborn. So Jacob was the firstborn anyway and went. Spiritually.
Right. It's right here in the article. It says, later, when God made Israel into a nation, he called them his firstborn son.
There you go. His priest. Go ahead.
And each individual Israelite was called to be holy, priestly, and royal.
Woo! Holy, priestly.
Each individual?
Yep. Yes, that's Exodus 19:5.
Yep. Yep.
That shows you that the intention was for the whole nation.
The intention is for the
Levitical.
Right. That's right. That's right.
And then out of the nation of Israel, Yahweh chose the tribe of Levi to serve him and the sons of Aaron to be priests. Thus all priests were Levites, but not all Levites was a priest.
Go ahead.
Some Bible commentators have said Yahweh chose the tribe of Levi to be his priest because they were obedient to Yahweh after the infamous golden calf incident at the foot of Mount Sinai. However, Yahweh had made Levi's tribe priestly before that time.
Right, it's all set up from the beginning, but those were indicators. You know, that was an indicator. It was a shadow of things. Levi was like, hell no, man, y'all tripping, man. You know, go ahead.
Furthermore,
and that's what we doing on the earth now. Complaining, nigga, what are you doing? You get out of the church.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing? Like, you know, our people are going off, and they don't have anyone to tell them, nigga, look. But that's why the Lord set us up to where our people, the mediators, to where our people don't have any excuse. So you represent more than just being a nigga who goes to work, driving to work, putting on the same pants, the same shoes every week. You're the spirit inside of you could be one of these priests chosen from the foundation of the earth, man.
Right. Because look what not judging has done to our people.
Boy, they need it. They need it big time.
Look what just letting a nigga woman do what she want to do, letting the kids do what they want to do, interacting with other nations and heathens. Look what that's done to our people spiritually, economically, educational system, criminal justice system. We all the way on the bottom, man. Because we left the judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. We left the priestly order that was set upon our nation to be, man. You know?
Right.
So now, through the Spirit, the Most High, through Yahushua, setting up that priestly order to come out and scream on Babylon the Great and the rest of the planet until it's destroyed, man.
And tell our people to come back.
That's right.
And fear the Heavenly Father in sincerity and truth. That's the 144.
That's right. That's right. So that's what we're set up here to do, man. You got to precept.
Yeah, just to back up what you're saying, because the nation as a whole, everything should be innate within us that we preach about. Now, we in this flesh, creatures made subject to vanity, so we just rehearse to the best of our ability. But this is the mindset that should be pushed, and more so, it's all in spirit, you know. But this is Deuteronomy 4 and 5. It says, "Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it. So Moses, he went before the Most High to get the law, statutes, and commandments, and that transition of power, that delegation was supposed to be Israel's righteousness, man, or at least a shadow of things to come. Because knowing how to move within the earth and how to be in harmony and ultimately obedience with the Most High is just spiritual. But that was just a guide, the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
But that was only given to a particular people.
Right.
And that was for the whole nation to be within that order automatically.
That's right, bro.
And that's why in the kingdom, furthermore, is going to be put back in our inward parts.
Right.
That priestly way.
That priestly way. And it's going to be through Yahushua, but also the men under him. You play a very important role, man. All right. If you're of that chosen number, man. I mean, it's something to think about, that you could be possibly, and I always say this, you could possibly be one of those, the spirit. All right, to hell with the flesh. All right, to hell with the missing hairline, to hell with every imperfection that you have in this flesh. The spirit inside of you, the inner man, all right, could be one of those spirits that were with the Messiah from the beginning. Well, get that, and you can finish that, but get that when the Lord told them, you were with me from the beginning. It's like John 16 or something like that.
This is back. Can I finish this? This is back in Deuteronomy 4 and 6. It says, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall surely hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Right.
So we're supposed to be a whole nation of priests and just overall leaders and counselors to the whole world, man, to this whole earth.
That's right. That's right. We're going to govern the nations, as the brother from Vegas just said.
No.
Okay, so you gotta upgrade your mind frame, man. Okay, believe in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that's dealing with you, man. Okay, we're coming into something bigger than arguing on YouTube. We're coming into governing the whole world, 144,000.
Yeah, man. Jake gets stuck in a little perspective in a little world, man. Like, this is way bigger than your apartment and you just agreeing with something online.
Right.
You gotta realize that we all are connected into something, man. Even though it's happening digitally, so it doesn't feel. You don't get that tangible feeling. Of someone being face to face with you, man. There's a lot going on behind the computer screen, so to speak. Yahweh got a whole algorithm. Got a whole nest of brothers doing this thing.
Even that you don't see.
You don't see them.
There's brothers that ain't even on the internet. That's out preaching this doctrine, man.
Exactly. Brothers talk about people across the world. Like, and brothers that travel know this. You travel, you ain't got the internet hard to get. You in America, so you used to just being able to catch a Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying?
What's your password up?
Yeah.
What's the password up? Priscilla 22.
But it ain't like that, globally. So there's a lot more going on than what you see, man.
Oh yeah.
And then people get so comfortable watching us online and staring like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Look. Right. Like a brother said, you got your afro lopsided, your hairline gone.
Yeah, to hell with that.
Like I said, your big toe poking through your sock.
Right.
But it ain't about that, man. It's about the spirit, man.
Yeah. Yo, 18 or 40 years on the planet is not going to trump what Yahweh Yahushua set up from the beginning of time. It pales in comparison, man.
So, yeah, we're part of something that's big, man. The priesthood was a big deal. The priesthood was responsible for bringing the glory of Yahweh Yahushua to the nation. That knowledge, that wisdom, that way, that power. And that glory, that knowledge transitions into power and dominion. I like to stress that, man. Because right now, you have all this wisdom, but you feel weak. You got to hide your wisdom in a way. Like, you gotta be wise as a serpent, humble as a dove.
Right.
But soon you're gonna be able to enforce wisdom, enforce truth on the planet Earth, man. That's right. That's the patience.
That's right. That's the spirit. That spiritual priesthood is being reestablished in the earth with us pushing this word, which we always go into, because you got a lot of guys out there that know that they're Israelites and teaching our people the basics that they're Israelites, but more so with the priesthood is going into the doctrine. And the doctrine is what? A teaching. or a particular way. Everything is being done a particular way, just like in the offices of the priesthood, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything was very particular and meticulous. And that's the same way right now, you know, starting with like the apostles of Great Millstone, you know what I'm saying? In the certain way that the word is being pushed, you know what I'm saying? You got naysayers saying this and that, but that's just the example right now today. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
I got this in John 15. Yeah. This is John 15:26. But when the Comforters come, whom I will send unto you from
to you, not to everybody. The G-man don't have the comfort vocabulary, but the Israelite men chosen of the elect have the comfort. Go ahead, brother.
God, whom I will send unto you from the Father, even the Spirit of truth.
Even the Spirit of truth. Go ahead.
Which proceeded from the Father. He shall testify of me. And ye also shall bear witness, because ye have been with me from the beginning.
Ye have been with me from the beginning. Get Genesis, brother. We gotta get it. We gotta hit that so brothers can feel what that means, man. Ye have been with me from the beginning. What does that mean? What does that mean? Let's get Genesis, the Elohim. Okay. Yep. The sons of God. Understand what the Bible is talking about, man. It's way deeper, man, than what you heard in church or what you may perceive. The scriptures are on a whole nother level. We were just talking about how the history just matches up perfectly with what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
the brothers over in New York. They're going through the chronological order of basically, you know, the kings and the prophets, and they're showing you how basically as you read through. And really, you start, you know, but you read through Kings, you read through Chronicles, and you linking it with the books of the prophets, and you going through the secular history and matching it up. And once you do that, man, you really, your mind is blown by how much history is compacted into the scrolls.
Right.
You know, but it's all an Israelite perspective, so it's heavy. You know.
Right. Right. We understand that there are other histories out there that have true history. Egypt wrote some of their, you know, the Greeks wrote some of their history. They have their writings, their books, their great men of that time. We understand that. But the scriptures speak of those empires, you know, and tell you what they did.
Bro, we have the writings as it went, and then the prophets that told them what was going to happen before it happened.
Right. The chosen people. The scriptures deal with the chosen people too. Like we were talking about, the Bible mentions Pharaoh Hopper, Pharaoh Necho, which the Necho dynasty was a big, heavy dynasty in Egypt. The scriptures mention them.
Ooh, I gotta read this.
Go ahead.
Sirach 44:1. Let us
144.
now. 144. Sirach 44, man. Brothers been posting it on the comment board. We've been mentioning it.
That's right. Those are the priests. Go ahead.
Let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begat us. The Lord has brought great glory by them through great power from the beginning.
From the beginning. What does that mean? We got to get that in Genesis, but keep going. Or is that it?
No, read 3. Yes. Such as did bear rule in their kingdoms, men renowned for their power, giving counsel by their understanding, and declaring prophecies. Yeah, man, they were bringing all types of things on the planet Earth. That's why, you know, the Babylonian Empire. Whenever Babylon took the Hebrews on, they really were enlightened by that captivity. Us going into captivity to Babylon really had the Babylonians like, damn. And then what? Well, what was after that? You know what I'm saying? It was Daniel was at the forefront, but really all the Hebrews was helping out in that.
I gotta bring this up.
Let's go check.
Monagon, Shalom.
My man.
GMS Army at 144. First Chronicles 15 and 16. And David, which we're the house of David, spake unto the chief Levites to appoint their brethren to be the singers. What are the 144 the priests have? The new song. Okay, singers with instruments of sit down, music, instruments of music, psalteries and harps and cymbals. So the Levites appointed Haman, the son of Joel, and his brethren Asaph, which he has a psalm. All right, Psalm 73 is one of the psalms. All right, and several, and son of Berechiah and the sons of Moriah, their brethren, Ethan, the son of Cushan. There you go.
What verse is that?
First Chronicles 15 and 16.
15 and 16.
Yep, but we got to get that understanding of what does it mean when it say these men were chosen from the beginning. Because it's deeper than just it's deeper than that. Go ahead.
Verse 4: leaders of the people by their counsels and by their knowledge of learning meet for the people.
Right, those particular people who the Lord was just dealing with. Okay? It's just the bottom line. People went to them, Solomon, people went to them for advice. How do I judge this? What do we do in this situation? Help. Go ahead.
Check this out. Wise and eloquent in their instructions, such as found out musical tunes and recited verses in writing.
Right, the original poets, the original poetry in the Bible. Songs of Solomon. You read Proverbs, Ecclesiastes. Those are all different, thoughts and just basically what Jay do today with rap music, but they're doing in wickedness now.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be glorifying Yahweh.
That's why they took over hip hop so quickly, because they understood that was our nature.
That's a part of our culture.
You can make a whole culture. Jake was about to make a whole culture out of that, man.
Right.
Out of hip hop, and create a language and a whole subculture to where they can maneuver outside of what Esau understood.
Yeah.
Well, galvanizing Jake.
So that's
we can go all day. Nah,
yeah.
Come on. What do you think he meant by all eyes on me? You're like, all right.
Verse 6: rich men furnished with ability, living peaceably in their habitations. All these were honored in their generations and were the glory of their times.
Right.
There be of them that have left a name behind them, that their praises might be reported.
Right. Keep going. I want to make a point.
And some there be which have no memorial, who are perished as though they had never been.
So we read about particular men of the Lord in the scriptures, but there are other men of the Lord who don't have a writing. And when we get in the kingdom, we will figure it all out, and every one of the elect will have their story. I believe there's going to be a book written for the whole nation. This ain't scriptural. This is me speaking as a man. But the Lord did say a book of remembrance will be written for them. There's going to be a book written about each elect man, the 144. They're going to have their own book, I believe, and it's going to tell them from the beginning until, leading up to the kingdom of heaven, And just imagine that. I want that glory, man. I want to be one of those men. But, hey, even if I'm a doorkeeper, I'm happy. But we're striving to be one of those ones crowned when the Lord returns, man. That's going to be big. That's pretty much it.
What verse you in?
Verse 9.
Can you skip to verse 13 for me?
It says this.
Verse 13. Their seed shall remain forever, and their glory shall not be blotted out.
Boom. Skip to verse 22.
Verse 22.
And what does it say? What their seed remains?
Yeah. Their seed. Verse before it.
Yeah, their seed standeth fast, and their children for their sakes.
11. Read 11.
Verse 9. And some there be which have no memorial, who have perished as though they had never been, and are become as though they had never been born.
Right.
And their children after them. But these were merciful men, whose righteousness had not been forgotten. With their seed shall continually remain a good inheritance, and their children are within the covenant.
And their children are within the covenant. Yep. See that? So everything is going to be reestablished in righteousness through these men. You see what I'm saying? The nation of Israel being perfect has to start with these men. The law, statutes, and commandments. It's going to be written. It's going to start with these men on down to whoever else, because the Lord's going to have mercy on a lot of the friends of the prophets. All right, but it all starts with the 144, the women. There's going to be a bunch of women that are going to be delivered.
Yep.
Okay? The children.
Yep.
You see? So all of them are within the covenant, man. Lord willing, we're a part of that. Go ahead.
Kind of. In verse 11, with their seed shall continually remain a good inheritance, and their children are within the covenant. Their seed standeth fast, and their children for their sakes. Their seed shall remain forever, and their glory shall not be blotted out.
And we're those children.
They're going to stand up, and they're going to be priests. Those leaders, those who are ushering in, or who are confessing the glory of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Right. Okay, saying this is the true power of the universe. This is his intention. This is what he wants you to do. Right. This is what we need to do as a people. This is the standard that's being set through the Spirit. That's right. Okay. Those men have not left. And if you don't, if you want to scoff, identify those men.
Where they at?
They're mentioned in the
Scripture. You believe in the Bible. This is the house of David. See, what we're talking about, nobody else is really talking about.
Because they're afraid to be wrong.
Right.
But the Scripture says that there's a group of men that's going to stand up. This is the Most High dealing with them. And they're going to be teaching, leading in perilous times in our captivity. When you read Baruch, 3rd chapter, and all these other scriptures, man. Can I say this? That's the agenda of the council of the wicked, is to blot out the inheritance of the Israelites and to blot out the knowledge and the truth of the Israelites being on the planet Earth. So those scoffing, you fall in the agenda of Esau, man. Because Esau don't want Jake to rise up. Esau
they went in the way of Cain.
Yeah. They don't want you to know you Israelite, those men.
Well, why do you think they get cursing us out for doing more videos? I mean, if you were Israelite, you should want the glory of I was trying to come out, right?
Yeah.
Nigga, you doing more videos? Ah! Nigga, throw a stone at you.
That's the problem. The problem is the confession. They don't want you the Satan. They are the father of the devil. Mm-hmm. So the more you confess Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the more angry they get. They don't even like to hear that.
Right.
Dang, why y'all say Yahweh Shem Yahushua so much? Mm-hmm. Right. No. That's why I tell you, man, say the name, man. Yep. Say it. Keep saying the name, man. Everybody, man. Preach. Give the glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Yeah, that's his name, man. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. The Most High God, his name is Yahweh. And his son's name is Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His Hebrew name is Yahushua. Those are the power entities of the universe, man. And that's where we get our power.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Right. And Lord willing, with those men, the whole nation is going to get power through our power.
Hey.
That's what it says in Romans. Mm-hmm. They got to be born. They got to be born. That's why the Lord will save a lot of women, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what Prashad said, it's going to be a gang of women.
It's going to be a gang of women. It said they shall be saved in child. What does that mean? You're going to be saved in child.
Well, it says we're going to get riches. What's the chief treasure on the planet Earth? You got metals. You got different metals, right?
Right.
You got calves, livestock, land,
right,
silver, gold, copper, brass, and bitches.
Yep. Women. See, our women they gonna be women in the
bitches, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're saying.
You gonna have women, man. Women is a sign of riches and treasures.
Right.
Okay.
And you gonna be happy. We ain't gonna have apartments in that day. We ain't gonna have 3-bedroom houses.
You ain't gonna have to sneak out.
You ain't
gonna have to hey baby, I'm about to go out.
Yeah, you at Denny's. Come on, man.
It's doing that shit.
It's a low level. It's a low level life. We gonna be on a whole nother level. I'm talking about for miles and miles and miles. You won't see a nigga. And then it's gonna be water before that. You gotta go through the water to get to your island, man. Throw a party. A party is gonna be a pool full of Israelites. I mean, not a pool, ocean full.
Come on.
The pool party is 20 people in the pool listening. Baby got back.
Yeah. Water stink.
Yeah, water stink. Somebody pissing in the water. Man, the kingdom of heaven, we gonna live, man. Everybody gonna be happy, man, woman, and child. All right. But where we at?
I just wanted to pull that last verse because brother had pulled it up.
Okay.
So in that Sirach 44, if you don't mind getting that last verse, we can get right back to it.
Verse 22.
Yes, sir.
Sirach 44 and 22. With Isaac did he establish likewise for Abraham his father's sake the blessing of all men.
Right.
And the covenant. And he made it rest upon the head of Jacob.
And he made it rest upon the head of Jacob. Go ahead.
He acknowledged him in his blessing. And gave him an inheritance and divided his portion.
And that's why Jacob dwelt in tents. When you look at the word tent, it means tabernacle. And that now, y'all was talking earlier, that sparked the sit down in my mind. That's heavy that Isaac was out. Not Isaac, but Esau was a cunning hunter. Mm-hmm. But his brother, he dwelt tents. Go ahead.
And he acknowledged him in his blessing and gave him a heritage and divided his portions among the 12 tribes did he part him.
Among the 12 tribes did he part him, man. So now the Most High is raising up his remnant to reestablish that promise that was given to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay?
That's right, brother. That's right. Now, I wanted to get that point about you were with me from the beginning real quick, and then we'll get. I wanted to make that point. All right,
Genesis 1:1.
Right, but read that part where he said it. You were with me from the beginning.
Oh,
so brothers can really understand what that means. Read
it
real quick, or 23 or 27.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Maybe part
this is John 15:27. And ye also shall bear witness because ye have been with me from the beginning.
Right, he's talking to the 12, but really the 12 are the 144. And we could get into that today, but we probably don't have enough time. But the 144 are the priests that were chosen from the foundation of the earth, all right, to be raised up in these latter days. Now, some of the 144 are going to be on the chariots when the Messiah returns. Everybody's going to come. Once the Messiah returns, either who's on the earth going to be beamed up, and everybody's going to be joined together in their order, man.
Yep.
You see? But some of the 144
they're complaining. They're saying, how long will the 144 in the spirit world right now?
Well, that's in Revelation 14. It says, blessed are those who die in the Lord. There's going to be martyrs.
Yeah.
So just you're Israel, you're a part of the 144, you're a martyr, you die here. Does that mean that's it for you? No. When the Messiah returns, there's no way to lose.
That's right, John.
You're a part of this body, man.
We gotta pray to stay. We gotta pray to keep our head anointed, keep our mind in this thing. If you die, the Most High got you. Right. How about y'all shots faithful? Right. Because Jacob get carnal and start, oh man, it's only 2,000 subscribers.
Well, that's
You know, look, man.
Way different.
Y'all about y'all shot got this on lock, man. We're gonna make you be faithful. It's gonna work. Let you see it. Gonna work. The Most High ain't gonna let you see it right now.
You ain't gonna see it
the point ain't for you to see it. That's why he told Thomas, man. He says, well, you saw me and believe. But blessed are those who don't see and believe, man. And we in that time of you believing wholeheartedly without sight. You know Yahweh Shem Shah got it.
Right, because a lot of people get caught up in how many, I don't see 144.
Yeah, that's only 44 people watching this.
There are people on the planet that are dead. Well, when you read get Revelation 6 real quick and 4. Real quick, Revelation 6 and 4. I'm gonna hit you off with this.
It's Revelation 6 and 4. It says, and there went out another.
No, 6 where it talks about the men of the Lord complaining. It's in 6. And he opened up another seal. Read 9. What is 9?
Yo, that's.
I know you got it, Levi.
It's got
Levi. Lead us.
Go ahead. I can start at 9 though.
Read 9.
Yeah. This is Revelation 6 and 9. It says, and when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High.
Now, some of those may be back on the earth now, but not all of them.
Right.
So when the Messiah returns, they're going to lose. Keep reading.
It says, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High and for the testimony which they held.
So these are the men of the Lord. And go ahead.
And it says under the altar. That means they were making it. It was a sacrifice.
They were the priests.
Yeah. It says, I saw under the altar. Wow.
Go ahead.
It says, verse 10. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, doest thou not judge and avenge over blood on them that dwell on the earth?
Right.
And white robes were given unto everyone.
So you got the men of the Lord up in the spirit world cursing the so-called white man out along with us, man. Now, some of those spirits may be back on the earth, but what did the brother make Kabash post? He said, it says, 1 Thessalonians 4:16, for the Lord himself shall descend from the heaven with a shout and the voice of the archangel and the trump of God, and the dead and the Mashiach shall rise first. So they going to be on the chariot, and us down here, we're going to meet up with them. So you don't know how many, don't get caught up in the numbers game.
You could be preaching, you could be out preaching, and you got 1,000 men ready for Yahushua to return, watching you preach.
Right. You don't
You
know.
don't know that.
You don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
So don't get caught. Don't worry about seeing it, baby. Just see that it's happening.
Don't think about it too much.
This is Luke chapter 18, verse 1. It says, and he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint, saying, there was in a city a judge, which feared not the Most High, neither regarded man.
Right.
And there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, avenge me of mine adversary. And he would not for a while, but afterward he said within himself, though I fear not the Most High, nor regard man, yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her. Woo! Least by her continual coming, she worry me. Okay? Then that the Most High is long suffering.
Yep.
Okay, so it feels like the Most High ain't gonna bring us justice, right? Like he don't give a damn about us, man. But we gotta be that widow that's constantly crying out unto him, man. Avenge us, man.
Our husband left us.
Yeah,
He's gone.
avenge us,
Damn, man.
Yeah, so you might not see it, but keep crying, right? It says, and the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge said, and shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on earth? That's what the Most High is looking for, man. He's looking for those who understand and who are willing to be patient for his judgment to come on the planet earth, for us to stand in our lot, for us to stand in that priesthood, that order of Melchizedek, man, with long suffering through the spirit, man, waiting for the judgment of Yahweh Shah.
And all of these things, all of these attributes, that goes back to obedience, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
And from the foundation of the earth, all right, the elect have been obedient. Yep. And we fell from that grace, but we're trying to get back in those good graces. Because get that in Genesis real quick.
Sure, 1:1.
Yeah.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, it says, in the beginning, the Most High created the heaven and the earth.
Right, the Elohim.
In the beginning, the Elohim created the heaven and the earth.
Now, the Most High did do it, but there's order in how he did it. Now, read that word Elohim. Okay? This is what the Lord means by ye were with me from the beginning.
Right. It says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Now, when you look up the word God, the word in the Hebrew is Allahayam. Allahayam. Right? It says rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods. Boom.
Rulers. So basically, it was under the Messiah. You had those. Get Revelation 14. I'm gonna do a lesson on it, but get it. But they follow get Revelation 14 and 4. Start at 4. You know, we don't have to read the whole thing. We'll get a little bit more of the article.
This is Revelation 14 and 4.
So for the last couple of weeks, we just been going. The last month, we just been going off the top, but the Spirit has been coming through.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Trust in the Holy Spirit, man. Before I was worried.
It's worry every time. They gotta come out.
That worry demon, that's not a good demon. I gotta fight that. I got fast. Go ahead.
This is Revelation 14 and 4. It says, these are they which were not defiled with women.
Just talking about the 144. Go ahead.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna start up.
I mean,
just to get some, context behind it. This is Revelation 14 and 3. It says, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne.
That's the priest.
And before the 4 beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song, but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth.
Right. Didn't David set up a choir? What was the first thing David did when he came to the power? He set up that choir. That's the men, to sing, to put forth the praises of Yahweh Bashem. Ain't we the house of David? Mm-hmm. We're those priests, all right? Because the priests were singers, man. To hell with Luther Vandross, you do the Asaph, man. Go ahead.
Man, if you got somebody preaching and they're not seriously considering the 144,000,
nobody talking.
They're not sent. They're not sent by the Heavenly Father, man.
This is extremely important to the salvation of the planet.
Well, when you remember that guy, So Real, he was like, well, what does the 144,000 have to do with salvation? Everything. It's the order. Well, real quick. This is 1 Corinthians 15. All right. Bam, this is great. 1 Corinthians 15 and 22. For as in Adam all die, even so in the Hamashiach all shall all be made alive. But every man in his order. Hamashiach, the first fruits, after they that are Hamashiach said is coming. The rest who's going to have them. Who's the first fruits? Keep reading.
This is back in Revelation 14:4. It says, "These are they which were not defiled with women, but they are virgins."
And it has nothing to do with the flesh. See, everybody is looking for the man of the Lord by the flesh. You got to look by the spirit, because you can look at the flesh. Now, the flesh is like if you just a nigga. It's an indicator,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But you're going to have brothers who do particular things. It's going to get on your nerves. You got to look at the spirit of that man.
Well, we're going to be regular.
We're going to be regular men.
We're going to be regular. Right. We ain't going to look, we ain't going to be floating. Like, we're all going to be in a lotus position.
Right. But how many times y'all trying to say that?
Yeah, man. That's what it's saying.
Like the lowly and the humble and the meek and the
main.
Yeah, the first shall come last and the last shall come first. How many times you got to say that?
You know? Might just gonna take them over, man.
Right. Keep reading.
It says, "These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb."
The first fruits, and we coming into the first fruits.
The 144,000,
man. The priest. From the foundation of the earth, you were chosen, okay, to usher in what the Lord wanted through his word. This is why we here. Think about that. That ain't little. Big deal, man. It's bigger than arguing about the black woman and the scoffer, the biker jacket. It's bigger than all of that.
Man.
It's bigger than all of that. And this is what niggas ain't talking about. Nobody's talking about this, man. This is hella important. Where are these men? Through these men, the word is going to go out and salvation is going to come. From Yahushua, man.
Right.
You want to come in and be here and you don't.
You don't.
A lot of you guys that scoff, y'all have the agenda of your slave master Esau deeply implanted into your psyche, man. You have the agenda of Esau deeply implanted into your psyche to wipe out the knowledge of Israel, to wipe out the true knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You just want us to be niggas. Get off the internet, get with a big booty black bitch and be niggas, man.
Right.
That's not what the Bible says.
Well, you can be a priest and have a big booty black woman too.
Have all the booties you want.
Right. We're gonna have it all in the kingdom, man. We're gonna wait.
We're gonna preach. We're gonna be priests.
You put it off, man. You offer yourself that sacrifice, understanding that these things shall come. Well, what did Satan come to the Yahushua with? Something that he already was promised. So you leave this truth for a woman. You leave this truth for something you already promised that in abundance. Why would you leave the truth to fall off like this one nigga, we ain't gonna even mention his name, who is now a scoffer? He got a piece of pussy and just nothing else mattered. Nothing else mattered, man. He just put this man. He did a 4-part series on the pussy. I'm just looking at this guy. Like, what's wrong with him? Dude, benevolence ass nigga, man. I love my woman. You gonna have women in abundance, man. You gonna have the elements, everything that the Lord created. The first fruits, the 144 under the Hamashiach. Because the Hamashiach is the biggest piece. We gonna get a big piece.
Painted. Everything is here is painted.
Bro.
Yahushua got everything. He got the universe. The Most High, Yahweh gave Yahushua everything. Everything. Gave him it all. He got the glory. He got all of that, man. He got dominion over all of that. He gave him the right to run that. Underneath Yahushua, we gonna have access to all that, which is a lot. More than what you can think of, especially if you think
if you feel like you found righteousness inside of this place, your mindset is limited. Now we can go into winning but we're talking about the priesthood. We're talking about an order and arrangement being established through a certain grouping of men, and how that order and arrangement was always established. How the priesthood started all the way back with Adam. We saw it with Noah. We saw it, leading all the way up to Abraham. You know what I'm saying? Then going into the Levitical priesthood. You know what I mean? Leading up to this order of Melchizedek. Now that order of Melchizedek, what? It comprises chiefly, firstly, of the 144,000 that are coming in and that are going to be confessing Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and establishing that doctrine, the first fruits in the planet Earth, man. Okay? And how that's going to lead to a glorious return, man, a glorious dominion. Like, woo!
So when you're looking at your brother, this can be one of them spirits.
Yeah, one of those guys, man.
So that's why you treat that man, that's what a worship, that word worship, which it just means a high level of reverence. That's where it comes in at. Are you looking at this man as just a nigga, or are you treating him as if you would treat Yahushua? One of those spirits who followed him from the foundation of the earth. That's all. It ain't like we see each other and bow and it is him. Yeah. But we treat each other with that energy of bowing, Go ahead, bro.
I'll just get this.
Get that a little bit more.
This is actually a prophecy. This is St. Luke chapter 1, verse 67. And it says, and his father, Zacharias, was filled with the Holy Ghost and prophesied, saying, blessed be the Lord, power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people.
Yep. And what was Zacharias? He was a Levite. And what was his job? Incense, burning the incense, which is that sweet savor. The Lord loved those smells of that frankincense, calamus, Most High, everything, man. Brothers get into that and we smell it. We like, now we we get into the sense of the Lord, man. The sense of the earth. That's what we and our brothers wear cologne. But when you get into the sense of the earth, it's peculiar, it's different. We like, okay, I ain't never, So this is how this word is supposed to be, man.
Right.
Go ahead.
It says, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and had raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
And the house of David.
That's right. It says, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant. So those are all the men that are within that order, man, that priesthood, coming in the spirit until now of Yahushua in the latter return of him. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is going to be through him. But in order for us to receive that salvation, that obedience, that sacrifice, that has to be the mindset in every walk of life in this place, man.
Yeah,
always coming into the altar of your mind.
Isaiah 19 real quick, and then we'll get back to the altar. Going to go back over, one of the brothers posted it earlier, Isaiah 19, started at 19.
I saw that. This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 19. And it says, in the day shall there be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord.
Right, and we were brought in the captivity into this new Egypt, right? So what is the altar now in the land of Egypt, in the midst of the land of Egypt? These videos, us out on the highways and the byways, that's the main sacrifice. But the men of the Lord ultimately making the bodies a living sacrifice. And through that sacrifice, the Heavenly Father hears and he does things in favor of the nation of Israel. So that's what the priests represent, Go ahead.
Verse 20, and it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto Yahweh of the host in the land of Egypt, that they shall cry unto the Yahweh because of their oppressors. And he shall send them a savior and a great one, right, and he shall deliver them.
Right, so through us, that sacrifice, calling unto the Lord and crying unto the Lord because of the oppressor, the Lord is going to send us a deliverer, man. Okay? You got it. Let me get back to the altar.
We'll have to make this a part one.
Yeah, it's going to be part two. Because we left off, but the spirit, the
But it went right into everything, man.
Yeah, the spirit is like the wind. The spirit, you got the spirit is on point. That's why you got to follow the spirit. Go ahead.
Okay. Now this is in back in the article again. GotQuestions.org, Levitical priesthood. Start that up. So yes, Jacob's prophecy that Jacob's prophecy that Levi's descendants should be scattered throughout Israel was fulfilled when Yahweh appointed them as the priestly tribe, who, like the other tribes, would receive no land inheritance. However, in Yahweh's sovereign and mysterious way, Jacob's prophecy turned into a blessing because Levi's inheritance was better than land. It was Yahweh himself. And Yahweh promised to provide for the Levites from the abundance of all the other tribes.
And this is what we have, basically, what we doing through faith. We don't have shit, you know, we ain't getting shit. But at the end of the day, we're hoping to the Lord, you know what I'm saying, to provide for us, man. And he has been doing that. How much more when he gives us, you know, the kingdom of heaven, man? All right, go ahead.
The Levites who were not priests were given various duties in the caretaking of the tabernacle. And
the caretaking of the tabernacle. What tabernacle are we building? The house and tabernacle of David. Okay, go ahead.
The priests among the Levites were given the immeasurable privilege of doing service in the tabernacle. The Levitical priests also served as judges and teachers of Yahweh's law.
Judges and teachers of Yahweh's law. Okay, go ahead.
The high priest would deliver edicts to guide the nation.
Get that word. Look at that word.
That's what we had. It is. It's a command, man.
Yeah. And that's these precepts.
That's a doctrine, basically. I think it became to when you look it up like a way.
Yeah, edict is an official order or proclamation issued by a person.
And what is a precept?
No, it's just a
order. A commandment.
No, the precepts are commandments. It says that in Psalms.
Yes, edict, a decree issued by a sovereign or other authority. It says an official order or proclamation issued by a person in authority.
Yeah, man. Do 3 videos a week.
Yeah, that's an edict. Exactly.
Hey, man. Pull a tampon out.
That's right.
3 videos a week. You know.
That's right.
Go ahead.
It said the high priest could deliver edicts to guide the nation.
Yeah, they could deliver an edict, man, or order, a command. Look, this is what we're going to do.
Yep.
Okay? Go ahead.
He was the only one permitted to enter the most holy place, divided by a curtain from the rest of the tabernacle.
So you had the veil, you had the holies of holies, where you had to go through the veil of the temple. Only the high priest, which was anointed, could go into that place and do sacrifices for the whole nation. And basically, it was more than doing sacrifices. Really, he went into the holies of holies to communicate with Yahweh Shem Yahushua on what the nation should do. Because before a battle or before something serious went down, the high priest would go into that place and inquire Heavenly Father on what they should do. Most I would tell them, no, you're gonna get hugged.
Don't do that.
Or yes, I give this land unto you.
Right, just like that account in the movie 300, where the I forget his name, the leader of the Spartans, Leonidas, went to those oracles to get counsel on if they should go to battle with the Persians.
Well, at that time, I think that's the Algerines.
Yeah,
because then when they taking the bird droppings.
Yeah, they were doing all, and then they had the virgins do all that.
Soothsayers.
But it was similar because the officers that the priests on council on if they should go into battle or not. Okay, and you see that also a lot in the time of Maccabees. But Judas was a priest, and he was like, "No, we're gonna win. You men stay here. Y'all coming with me." And the men would be like, "Oh, do you not realize that there's this many?" He's like, "Yahweh Shem Yahushua got it. Let's just go." and they were wiping nations out, man, to where they would walk up to a certain kingdom and the people would flee before they can even get into battle, man. You know, but you know that's just kind of going into accounts of like the counselor, because they went to the high priest at that time. Now, through the dispensation of time, those offices were given over for filthy lucre's sake. Okay, people will buy those positions because you gain high positions, meaning you could thrive. You own businesses.
So what the brother is saying is that over this dispensation of time, what happened to the high priest position is it became political, and that became with mingling with the heathen. That the high priest position for what became a political position that you could buy like a place in the Senate or a congressman or anything else.
Exactly, because with that type of position, you can own different types of businesses. Like you have the account of Jason in the Maccabees, where he had gems, but he would pay tribute to the king, but the rest of those profits he would keep. So he was rich, you know. And so you have those different accounts, things like that. But not to digress, we see that the position of the high priest was one where the rest of the nation of Israel went to the high priest for counsel. Okay, it says he was the only one permitted to enter the most high place, divided by a curtain from the rest of the tabernacle, and containing the ark of the testimony or covenant.
The ark of the covenant. What is oh yeah. David, the house of David. You got Ba, all right, which is the house. All right. Bayath. Yah is the hand, the house that holds, all right, Tha, which is the root word of Tharawah, which is the law, which is the agreement. The house that holds the covenant. When you read the word Bayath, that's what you're reading, the house that holds the covenant, basically. The house whose in hand is given the covenant, the house of David. The beloved house. Yeah.
Right. It says the symbol of Yahweh's very presence. The high priest could only enter the most holy place once a year.
Yeah, now the symbolic nature of Yahushua in the order of Melchizedek, what happened when Yahushua was crucified? What happened to the veil of the temple? It was rent. It was rent, man. I mean, this holy order was opened up to the nation.
And when Solomon rolled in on that donkey, the earth was rent.
The earth was rent.
When Yahushua died on the cross, that part of the rent, you know. Go ahead.
The high priest could only enter the most holy place once a year on the Day of Atonement to offer sacrifices for all the people, including himself.
Right. Offer sacrifices unto the people. So not only, brother, you got to think about it. We saying to hell with the 2/3 and all of that, but really at the end of the day, your sacrifice is to them everlasting life. You know? So you niggas who are watching with your mouths wide open, all right, with that bottle of off-feeder water in front of you, looking like a monkey. Hey, if we're those men, your only way to the kingdom of heaven is through our ball sack. Through us having sex with one of the beautiful divas, the beautiful women of Israel, all right, laying with them, and a baby coming out in the kingdom of heaven. They should be saved in childbearing. The scoffers and scorners, the 2/3, you're going to come back through that union. That's the greatest I told you so ever. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that nigga, he back. But he righteous now. You know?
Jake said, I sons you. We gonna
literally son, you know? But that order was set up from the foundation of earth. But when we get in the kingdom, it's going to be all good. All of these Jakes we arguing with now and that are being demons, hey, they going to come back and they going to be all right. But they're going to understand the order. You know? That just is what it is. Go ahead. Keep going. I mean, you know.
There's more.
Well, no.
Let's end off on a good part, you know?
Yahweh held the priests to the most stringent standards of behavior and ritual purity. Abihu and Nadab were sons of Aaron, and
that's Leviticus the 10th, Exodus or Leviticus 10, right?
that's crazy.
Leviticus 10. Now, that's what I'm saying. When you read that story, it proves to you the office of a priesthood. You can't play with it. It's particular. You get your ass put to death. So you people out there talking about call Allah Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, all right, and doing your videos, talking that shit, man, you're gonna be judged according to someone who's a priest.
It's just funny how you even said it, and it made me angry.
So
just thinking about you playing with the name.
They play with the name.
Made me mad.
You know.
Most I ain't playing, man.
Woo! Ass kicking is coming through the spirit. Hey man, niggas are gonna lose. The so-called white man is gonna lose, but niggas, wicked, dark, weak, whack energy niggas are gonna be put out of Israel, and the Lord gonna start over with that remnant, man.
Exactly.
That priesthood. You know,
because if I want to give an example, the Lord is not dealing with every sacrifice either.
No.
Look what happened during the time of Cain and Abel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the time we in today, man. For guys who think they priests, man. This is an example. This is back in Numbers chapter 3 and verse 3. It says, "These are the names of the sons of Aaron the priest, which were anointed, whom he consecrated to minister in the priest office." And this is that example. Verse 4, it says, "And Nadab and Abihu died before the Lord when they offered strange fire before the Lord in the wilderness of Sinai. And they had no children. And Eleazar and Ithamar ministered in the priest offices in the sight of Aaron their father." So I just want to get that was just an example of basically a sacrifice that wasn't pleasing to the Most High. You know what I'm saying?
It was a strange fire. It was a strange fire. Now we don't even know.
We don't know what it was in detail.
You know what I mean? But there was a particular way that the Most High wanted it to be done.
Exactly. That's the point.
You know. Shoot, man, that's heavy, man.
That's heavy. It says strange, yeah. Because I was just reading that, man. It says a strange fire, man, because it was already a particular way that the Levites who came up in that order as sons of Aaron was doing everything, man. And hey, it was deadly serious, man. A priest put to death for not doing things a particular way.
It might have been on the wrong wood.
And this is like an example.
Wrong incense with it.
Nadab and Abihu.
And they were put to death.
They were put to death.
For something, it was technical. It was a technical.
It said a strange fire. So
strange, right. It was a strange fire.
Yeah, it's a strange fire. You wouldn't know what it is.
You wouldn't know what
Cain brought a strange offering. Like, until you bring that bullshit.
What are you doing?
Was it to the obedience to that way?
Grapes got blood? No, nigga.
Everything's being done a particular way, man. That's the mindset. And guys that can't go in that order, man, they get left behind. That's the spirit, going into it is relevant to the time we're in now.
That's right. That's
right. They're going off.
This scriptures I had, but they passed because we should have went into it earlier.
We'll figure out a way to do a part 2.
Exodus, man.
It says, "Now Yahushua himself serves as the believers' great high priest." Hebrews 4:14, called according to the order of Melchizedek, not Levi. Through his death and resurrection, we have access to Yahweh's presence, where we can freely enjoy him forever. That's pretty much it.
And that's going to be done through the elect, and the men of the Lord. And in these latter days, the men of the Lord, get Sirach 36. And one of my favorite will end it off. Let somebody else got something.
I just had this in Daniel 12 and 13. It says, But go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days.
Yeah.
Stand in your lot, brothers. Lord willing, man, today was a crazy day. But Lord willing, tomorrow, after Apostle Ramlab has been doing morning live shows. So Lord willing, after his live show in the morning, we'll do a live show. And we're gonna go into Persia, Iran, the situation that's going on in Iran. We've got all the prophecies that are formulating right now, and everything that's going on. So brothers, that's up tomorrow. Lord willing, we get down on that. You know what I mean?
You gotta catch on the ride to work.
So you said we?
Let's
So I guess we all together.
Shit, we're gonna do it, but we'll
be
hit
at
that.
work drinking tea. Arguing.
I don't have no.
Nah, but Lord, what time if you do it, I'll hit you up.
Okay, yeah, just call me because whenever I grab Sirac. Right, got it?
Yeah, Sirac 36 and start
This is
at
Sirac
15,
36
we'll
and
get out of here.
15.
Jake, wait.
Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning.
Start over.
God, this is Sirac 36 and 15. Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning.
From the beginning, man. So the men of the Lord, brother, if you here and you on fire, man, you could potentially be one of those spirits that were chosen from the beginning, man. That ain't something to take lightly. That's something to fight for, man. That's something to have hope in. When you sit, when you're tired, and you're like, damn, I don't feel like, I went through that yesterday, but I did 2 videos. I was like, fuck, I gotta do something, man.
Mm-hmm.
Eviction. And we know that angels are here, they're watching. You're under supervision, so do as much as you can with what you got. But the Holy Spirit is gonna get us through, man. Go ahead.
And raise up prophets that have been in thy name.
Start over there.
Give testimony to them that thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name. Reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful.
Let thy prophets be found faithful. And that is being established here in the latter days. You're seeing who's faithful to the word, who's not getting caught up in the hut. Because we could easily get caught up in the bullshit and forget that there's a program and there's a word and there's a doctrine and there's prophecy that need to be taught. See, the elect men, though we understand the bullshit is a part of the story, we mention the bullshit, we mention the scoffers, but we don't get caught up in what they're talking about. We're caught up in what the Lord is talking about. And what the Lord is doing in these latter days, he has raised up prophets, man. And your job as a spiritual person is to identify them, not by the flesh, not by how happy they make you feel, by the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Lord willing, we're an example of that, and hopefully y'all are edified. You got something?
No, brother. Just mentioning Uzziah when he got smoked before the Ark of the Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
They just bring up
Another. You can't play with with this ark. You can't play with the temple of the Lord, because the ark of the covenant represents the presence of the Most High Yahweh. Right? See, that's what that ark represents. And if we're that spiritual temple, the presence of the Most High Yahweh through His Son is through, Lord willing, if we're those men, these men, and that brother, Lord willing, we're those men. Hey, hopefully I will edify through the Spirit. We'll come back with a part 2 if the Spirit allows. If not, we'll go into whatever the Spirit wants.
Yep. That's right.
All praise to Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Ruach
Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.